As our epilogue begins today, as the adventurers of Where Shadows Lie find a conclusion to their tale, no matter how sad, no matter how disjointed and broken, I take us to begin with a familiar map, a graveyard, because this game too enters into a departing memory of what once was. But, of course, to start off with, 2 years will have passed since the last session of Where Shadows Lie. 2 years following from a escape from the halls of remembrance for those who make it out. What your PC has done for the last 2 years following this failure, well, not to spoil too much, but a great loss occurs within the Hall of Reflection. We'll get to that momentarily, but over the course of the 2 years, quite a bit happens. First and foremost, Arvlon falls to darkness. The Prince of the Nightborn manages to enact a spell, or using a tool or something of the kind, is taken from the regions of darkness to drench the world in shadow. Every corner of the world has been warped. Arvlon and the Shadowfell are now one and the same. The Shadowfell itself no longer existing as a plane, completely replaced, as it and the Prime Material Plane are now one. Over the 2 years, Where Shadows Lie is no more. That is on the Prime Material Plane. If for some reason you choose to stay in Metropolis, there is a Thieves Guild that bears the same moniker, though, of course, different leaderships and different purposes. But Where Shadows Lie as an organization upon Arvlon is no more. If questioned, they cite that a loss of their premier agents made it impossible to continue action. Over the course of 2 years, Lily Belavaz disappears. 1 second she's there, the next gone, perhaps waiting for the next band of heroes, the next hopeful few that seek to stop the rains. The 9 orders, of which 3 were awoken within this game. The doors all open. The 9 lights burn brightly, mostly through the efforts of the Monday Party, and those missing 3 orders that don't have an equivalent. Someone or something has opened them. And yet when the world has fallen to darkness and the people of Arvlon cry out for safety, where the orders would have originally flourished, the call is unanswered. If the orders of Levanus remain, they do not answer. If the heroes of this world still exist, they no longer care. In regards to the region of darkness, following a bit of heartbreak, the region of darkness has given up her claims to try to gain ownership of Arvlon. She has fled to the frontier alongside Estime, where the two are enacting in strange rituals. What they're doing is, in a word, unspoken, but for the region of darkness, Arvlon is nothing more than a distant memory. And last but not least, of course, the War of the Worlds that was promised has begun. The darkness makes it difficult, but the people plot, the people just cause utter mass destruction. From the Inquisition of Turinmore to the Mages of Iori, to the Vampires of Vistos, to the Scholars of Madrinose. No matter where you go, war is all anyone can think of. The Inquisitors throw the first stone, they are repelled. The Spellflame Rune Lord throws the second. She is successful. As Where Shadows Lie grows weaker, as House Dumaine grows more desperate to deal with the worm that walks. Another that bears the name Dumaine makes her point. The Spellflame Runelord has conquered Iori. If for any reason you wish to have your epilogue situated around Iori at all, you would know. Valis Verilmore has been missing. Gone for a year and a half now. No one knows whether she is dead, alive, or something in between. But with that, as our brief world lore is exonerated and the epilogue enters in true fold, I think it best we start with the first true tragedy of the night. What sparks the end, and, for lack of a better term, what causes you all to go your separate ways. We begin, of course, where we left off, within the halls of reflection. And for longevity's sake, just to ease our tales a bit, as you all made your way through, collecting keys, fighting dangers, it wasn't until you made it to the top floor that true tragedy struck once and for all. In the midst of the chaos of memories of multiple figures collecting, you saw a sight. Veva taking the lead, as she is wont to do, saw an image of a strange man whose face was little more than a skull. Unlike any memories of yours, Veva, you would have immediately recognized it. Memories flooding forth from the bond you share with Alzevi Lescavel. You hear her speak in a hushed, quiet voice beneath her breath. This cannot be. The skeletal-faced man looks towards you, Veva, and with a wide-brimmed smile, you hear a voice, decrepit and broken. Well, 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 dear sister, don't you miss me so? Veva, what do you do?
Can I tell that this is the Shattered, like a vision of the Shattered Prince, right?
From what it looks like, this would be how he looked that day when he returned to the coast from his journey and set fire to the kingdom, earning him a place of infamy in the world. Because he probably murdered, like, upwards of 100,000 people over the course of that day, razing an entire kingdom to the ground.
Oh, I do have a question about that, the little beginning blip you said. You said Arvlon and the Prime Material, like Arvlon fell to darkness. Does that include these places outside of Arvlon, or is that a spoiler?
Depends, what do you mean?
Like the frontier and like
You don't know.
Okay, so we don't know what happens to them.
No idea.
Interesting. Okay. So Veva kind of stares for a second, and kind of in her mind goes, "Is this what I think it is?"
All you hear is choked out sobs, as if seeing this is too much to bear.
Okay, yeah, makes sense. She kind of grips tightly on the chakram she wields, kind of glances at the party for a second, and then looks back to the guy. Hey, big bro.
The skeletal figure walks up towards you. Ah, I knew you'd recognize me. I never lost hope. And he moves to embrace you.
Veva stiffens up and quickly sidesteps back, not wanting to be hugged by this guy.
As you do so, you hear, "Come now, what's the problem? We haven't seen each other for so long."
Yeah, just, me, not big on
Oh,
hugs.
since when?
Since a while, she says. She kind of looks at the party and motions for them to, kind of does like a back motion as she takes another step back and kind of laughs a bit. it's I do have some things to do. I do have some things to do though, so it might be good if we postpone the meeting. I kind of have I have another meeting scheduled. It's a lot. Sorry.
As you say this, no why.
Hmm.
You hear from right behind you a whisper in your ear. "Hey, Noai, can you help me get closer to them?" It's coming from Anitu.
Got you. Are you planning on doing something?
He nods. He goes, "A bit of magic. I'll help her."
How close do you need to get?
I had to be touching.
Touching? Okay.
My spell is touch range,
Um,
she says, very excitedly yapping.
how far away is he right now?
Probably about 15 feet away.
50 or 15?
15, 1-5.
Okay. Um, are there any puddles near him?
Sure, why not?
Got you. Does he seem hostile in any way, or
No.
does he seem like he's just chatty? Okay. Um, then I will teleport, taking Anita with me, using, where is it? Hold on, let me put it. Is that not? Oh, it's not a free action. Okay, I was looking for it
You're good.
in the free action tab. To get Anita closer.
As you do so, as you and Anitu get closer, you hear, "Thanks, old buddy, old pal. I really, really appreciate it." As Anitu leaps out of your arms, floating in midair as if levitating more so than flying. You could see Anitu's eyes glow a crimson red. As what follows, originating from the cat's body, an explosion unlike any other. Flames of crimson black billow, burning away at everything. Very little time passes. The image of the shattered prince, this whole everything, the halls of reflection as a whole seem to be melting beneath the flames. At this point, you all have collected every single key. You could see the keyhole up ahead. But the flames are burning bright. Anitu is laughing with a laughter that is not his. It is more alien and strange. And I ask you all, do you run for the keys? Or do you run for safety? To unlock the door, rather.
Who would have the keys?
Probably Veva.
Oh, that makes this easy.
It is your day.
Yeah, it's her special day. Yeah, she would basically just be jumping through space to get to the keyhole.
Excuse me. As you do, as the door opens, this wispy, shadowy like figure, no physical body, but alive, looks down at you. The doors have opened. The halls burn beneath the queen's touch. Planned long ago, this was always what she sought. The blood-eyed queen will have her revenge for those who did not save her, those who just did not care enough. But I ask you in this moment, child, would you take back what was lost?
So he kind of appeared when the door opened.
Yes. This strange figure looks more like... what's an apt way to explain it? Like a wraith or a specter. Tattered clothing flowing. This is right at the top of the Halls of Reflection. The very
They
final
would
door.
kind of, Veva would kind of look, kind of think for a second. Well, I don't rightfully know what you're thinking. I might think I know what you're talking about. Not really. I'll be honest. But
Is
if it was a
yes or
mistake,
no
I did.
question?
I was getting to that. Jeez, he kind of mumbles. But I would if I could. But what's done is
Witness
done.
what occurred within those halls all those years ago. Witness what happened within the Byzantine church as you walked within. Witness and fear. And Veva, as memories immediately flood back, I need a will save. Perhaps the final will save you will ever make.
Is this an emotional effect?
Yes, actually.
Hell yeah!
Almost like an emotional
Nice.
overdrive.
One final time. 11.
It's above average.
It's above average. I don't know if it's going to be enough.
Do you want to keep it?
I feel like a 35 is usually what I need.
Maybe.
Hey, it's the last session. Go for broke.
Okay. Ooh. It was a 35.
Yeah, that's what I figured it was a 35.
For all intents and purposes, just so you are aware. Veva falls comatose to the floor, as if caught in the memories. As the halls of reflection burn down around you, you soon all find yourselves back on the streets of Metropolis. The vampire mansion tower burning. Anitu's eyes still glowing, his mouth wide open. As what looks like the blood-eyed queen herself crawling out of his open mouth. But at the same time, for those who still bear their badges of where shadows lie, for those who were there in Hazelmoor, Veva, even distraught with pain, memories returning unbidden. Casimir, you were there. You remember, of the many things Nialis mentioned, there was a way that they were watching all of you. He thought it was from the badges, but part of how they were watching you, you could feel each other. Not enough to locate, but know that one another's alive. And all of a sudden, as Veva contorts on the floor, fighting back memories, and vision rises. Both you and Veva see it clear as day. Nialis, sitting in his garden. He is planting still. Doesn't look like much time has passed since you all arrived. He is far dirtier. He has been at this for a couple of hours now. You could hear through his ears the boiling of a pot on a stove, as if he has to go in to check it before it overflows. You can see the dirt between his fingertips. No, because it's technically not the badges that are sourcing it. This is just, that's what you thought.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure because I was just like,
No, I know.
have-
Yeah, it's originally the badges were thought to be the source. They are not. You see the dirt smudge his fingertips, and then you see his eyes perk up, his ears. Footsteps. Then a familiar figure appears. Currently, only Casimir and Veva are seeing this. And a familiar figure appears. A figure that looks like this. The figure's pale white skin, the contrast of the endless night shining in the city. You see the figure approaches. Very nonchalant, a casual walk. Senialis climbs to his feet. He reaches down, pulling out his sword of ash with trembling hands. The figure laughs in his face. You could hear him, his words. Is that all you've got? Trained by one of the heroes of legend, and you can't even wield a blade? Perhaps the sources were wrong. Perhaps you're nothing. You see Nialis run towards the man, swinging his blade. As the blade connects to no avail, the smoke and ash dissipate upon contact. And the man goes, why don't we show it to all your friends, too? The image changes. All of you at this point can see it. Your eyes glossed over. As the Prince of the Nightborn walks up to Nialis, plunges a hand into his chest, tightening around his heart. You hear, I'd ask if you have any last words, but I don't feel like hearing them. You see the fingers close around the heart. Magics rushing out of Nialis. The magics of light and dark mingling as one as it is absorbed into this man's strange form. It doesn't last long. Nialis, a dried out husk, is dropped to the floor. The Nightborn looks, and you can see they are staring into all of your eyes. You hear, 2 birds, 1 stone, as his foot comes down, crushing Nialis' skull. At the same time, you see Veva's body begin to disintegrate. Turning to dust, ash crumbling away. Veva, as your memories are restored, you remember what happened that fateful day oh so long ago. You remember what happened here. You and Nialis found the church. You were pushy. You wanted to see what was inside. You couldn't heart seeing something and not finding the truth of it. Nialis disagreed. He didn't want to. He tried to convince you, but in the end, you both agreed. You went inside. You walked through those doors, the 2 of you back to back, brave as little, only, well, teenagers can be. That bravado that nothing can go wrong, that you rule this world, that everything and nothing is yours. You could never die, you will live forever, that sort of emotion, that feeling. You recall searching room through room, trying on funny dresses, wearing different suits, swinging ornamental weapons and ritualistic items, as if there was all the time in the world. And then you remember the altar. You remember it was too late by the time you saw them. The shadowy figures that grabbed you, just like it was above. The way that they chanted their foul rituals, the way they held Nialis down and made him watch as you were taken apart. Flesh cut from flesh, bone pulled from bone. You were alive and awake through all of it until eventually it became too much. The last thing you remember them holding Nialis over you. Both of his wrists slit as blood pooled down. And then you awoke. No memory of the church. Back home in your bed. You realize as your memories fly, Veva, you died that day. Hell, you've been dead since. Reanimated in the purest of ways. Brought to life by whatever strange magic, whatever the blood of magic that ran through Nialis' veins, that which burned like flame. Magic incarnate. And as long as he lived, so would you. But as you watch his final moments, as you watch his powers taken, his skull smashed, you can feel yourself fading. As you look across at your party, after all these years, after all these adventures, both good and bad, do you have any final words for your party members?
Ooh. Uh, well, I have a question first.
Yeah.
The bond with the chakram and that sort of thing, and that those the whole thing was if Eva died, she just it's not like
The bonds
it's not
don't
like
die
breaking
if the wielder dies.
okay.
However, if the bond dies, the wielder can die as well, depending on what happened.
I see. Okay. So, Veva is going to uh quickly throw the chakram she has and the other blade that she has, one, to probably Noah. He's probably the closest to her. And simply say, keep them safe.
I promise to.
Know why? As you hear the words, as you grab the chakram, you see Canis. She is screaming, crying, sobbing like uncontrollably. She's screaming, "No! Not again! This can't happen! No! Please! Anything but!" The screaming, it echoes. You could clog your ears, but you will hear it till your dying day. And this, you know. You see Jericho kneeling over the disappearing form of Eva. And he looks towards you. And in that moment, you hear him speak aloud, but you're not sure if it's him speaking or just his thoughts echoing into your mind. Is this all we have? Is this all we can do? Do we just watch them go? Do we just watch them die? And Veva, as your body crumbles, as the pain, all the pain you felt ever, the magic you wield, the spells you thrust out, we could feel it fading. The oaths you have taken. Arvlon was never to be your home because you were never meant to survive. You escaped death once, sacrificed. You found yourself here, but nobody escapes death twice. And with Nialis gone, with the fate of the world changed forevermore, and you, foreseeing that there's nothing else to do, You feel yourself fade. Maybe a moment passes. And much like the time Veva was disintegrated and turned to a pile of ash, not a thing remains. Her lifeless form gone. The grounding force that kept us together. The halls of reflection have taken much from you all. And now they've taken one more. And for Veva, you find yourself drifting. Lost. Cold. You wander the space between spaces for what feels like an eternity. There are no guidelines, there are no posts, there's no procession of people. You wander and you wander until it feels like you've lost every part of yourself, until whatever sanity once remained is gone. Then you see two figures off in the distance. The first you would recognize Nialis. He's young, like he was when you were kids, when you first explored the church, when you ran amok here in the world below. The second, a tall man robed in white, his eyes glowing crimson. You would recognize Nialis' mentor, Varys Bellavaz. He looks towards you. A simple question on his lips. Are you ready?
She kind of looks at him. For what?
Are you ready for what comes next? Your
Do I
eternal
know?
respite.
I kind of look around. Where is Elzevi?
She's already there. Most of them go quickly. Few are lost as you are. Perhaps it was because you were dead for so long. If I had known, I would have never let the two of you part. You see him shake his head. A tragedy in 3 parts. Mere days ago, I had to bury my daughter. And now my only son. So I ask of you again, hero who was, are you ready?
Well, I would like to go talk to Elzevi.
Varys looks towards you and goes, you've wandered this long alone. Do you think you would find her on your own?
I mean, we found each other before, somehow, throughout.
Throughout
I
time
can
and
probably find her.
space?
I can probably find her again.
Do you wish to try? You won't receive an invitation like this again.
She
The
looks to be
graveyard,
honest.
while it may seem cold and uncaring, there's a solace in knowing that you are joined by those like yourself. Heroes from the lands, from all lands, joined together. If you don't go now, you may never have another opportunity to.
She nods, looks to the Alice, and just goes, sorry. But yeah, she looks to the guy. I have to try to find her. She's been in this for so long. Without her, it just feels wrong.
Right and wrong have no place here, child. you've made your decision. Nealis, let us be off. And Nealis looks towards you, Veva. And you could see that childlike innocence in his face. I'm sorry, Veva. I'm sorry.
It's not your fault. It's not anyone's fault. Things just sometimes don't go right.
He just looks at you. We never should have went to that damn church.
I mean, probably, but what's done is done. Now all we can do is look to the future.
And he shakes his head at that. We don't have a future. As you see Niels walk on, entering into the graveyard, from where he will spend the rest of his days. You, however, do not go.
Yeah, and as he kind of says that and walks off, she would kind of go, I mean, I might, but never know. She turns around and goes looking for Alzevi.
You spend what feels like 10,000 years crawling through highest mountains, digging through ravines. Eventually, you find two things. First, a door of ivory white. You'd feel the power emanating behind it. You have found the entrance to the wheel. The second, through varying fields, through dirt, through grime, squeezing through openings that you should not fit, taking advice of strange elderly ghost men who through sobbing cries go, "That damn tiefling! He made me eat the dirt! All I do is eat dirt!"
This is in the space between spaces,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Do I find a certain guy?
Which guy?
The guide guy?
No, you do not.
Damn. No guide for me.
No guide for you. Only a man who was forced to eat dirt. Why was he forced to eat dirt? I don't know. Some murderer I know is a psychopath. Made that old man eat dirt. Eventually, though, you find yourself to the final battlefield. Where, however long ago, the heroes of legend fought against Tharizdun and won. And here you would find Alzevi. She stands over what is the grave of Tharizdun, staring. As you arrive, she looks towards you. Why are you here? Why did you not go to paradise? To rest alongside your fellows?
She kind of looks at him, at her. She says, well, I mean, you kind of know me. I think you should figure I wouldn't be able to settle without you. I'm gonna leave you alone.
You would give up on your afterlife?
I mean, I'll be honest, the graveyard kind of sounds boring, so.
Boring. Curious.
What are you doing out here?
Witnessing what was. You see she walks to the grave of Tharizdun and lands a solid kick against the gravestone. If this damn thing had never awoken, life would have been so good. Corruption wouldn't have set in. My brother wouldn't have lost himself. There would never be a shattered prince. I doubt we'd be having this conversation. The desolations would have never happened. But it never works out that way.
No, bad things happen. Just kind of how things go. But that doesn't mean we just kind of, I don't know.
Give up?
Yeah. I was gonna say that, but well, she kind of looks around, kind of dead. So, yeah.
And she looks at you. And so the cycle continues.
Yeah.
What do you think is next?
She kind of shrugs. Whatever it is, and she holds out her hand towards Elzebi. How about we face it together?
She grabs her hand. I think I'd like that. Do you trust me, Veva?
She just doesn't say anything and just nods, looking her in the eyes.
Good. Because I have seen beyond the veil. In your final moments, I saw what he would do to bring you back. Even in the graveyard, you wouldn't be safe. Even here, I could feel his call. I could feel the power of calamity reaching towards you. And as you look around, Veva, gazing upward, you could see a hand made of conjoined elements reaching down towards you. Fire, water, earth, air, lightning, lightning, darkness, etc., etc., reaching down to grab you. You hear a booming voice. Flee not from me, my daughter, for you must be ordained as my first deacon. Elzebi looks towards you. I will ask you only a single time more. Do you trust me?
I was gonna say with my life, but I think that's kind of not appropriate, so... Yeah, I do.
And as you say this, Elzebi leaps, pulling you alongside her. As you could see beneath the grave of Tharizdun, another doorway to the wheel. And as the two of you fall through, for once, you are at peace. You are quiet. You are calm. And for Veva, that is where your story ends. Dun dun dun. And for others, Veva's death is a tragedy. Unforetold, who could say it would happen? Who could have known? Who could have done anything to stop it? Who could say? And of course, Veva, if you have questions or anything you would like answered from the campaign after we finish everyone's epilogue, you are welcome to ask any questions you would like.
Mm-hmm.
But as we begin with tragedy, we move on to other things. Josh could have saved shit. She got rid of the toe already. You're too late.
Yeah, I gave the toe away, man. Yeah, that was the only piece you had. Oh, also Dylan. So I did throw the sword. I did throw the shotgun, but and also the sword that killed the cat
Yes.
in it, right? Okay, cool. I figured I was like, I might as well throw that as well. Maybe someone else can figure out how to free her.
The world may never know. But it's a better fate than dying again, I suppose. Maybe.
being stuck on a sword.
Out of character, just saying, if you went to the graveyard, you were going to be a great villain to use for future campaigns. That's all I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm. I figured.
Yeah. Oh my god. Now I have to convert someone else into a deacon. I only have Fia and Matthias. Sag. We need 3. Y'all are definitely turning evil. Ezak's going to be the 3rd one. He's evil. Or Haru. Anyway. Anyway. Following Veva's death, presumably the party splits up. And why his epilogue is last, because his, I think, is going to be the longest. I also know he has a trillion questions. He's silent because he knows I'm right.
I mean, I'm still typing up my list right now.
Jesus Christ.
Oh my god.
But
How long have you been typing that up?
All day pretty much. I told Dylan I have one thing that I want to do, just one singular thing that I would do, 100%, and then I have like 20 questions right now.
That's so
Fair.
funny.
it's valid. It's fine.
Yeah.
We'll start with Harlow. Harlow's epilogue. At some point, the entities inside of him become too much. They burst out. Be it upon Arvlon, none of you ever quite know. You hear news, it reaches you, of the famed Prince of Chalk turning into the monster he was always destined to be. His final words, "I am my father's son." The destruction wrought out is equivalent to perhaps even the greatest of threats to the world. Madronose, the city of scholars, the desert that was, is completely destroyed, consumed by the aberrations of the world beyond the stars that were once imprisoned in Harlow's body. The Prince of Chalk lives within the graveyard forevermore. No memory of the grand evil that he did, only knowing that in the end, he finally gained his father's approval. For the rest of you, Caden, as the image in the halls of reflection was not accurate, retires to Kalinra. Where shadows lie was a paycheck enough, but after a bit she realized it just wasn't worth it. The dangers were too much. Entrusting riskers to Casimir to join him in his adventures, she retired. Honestly, probably living the best life. I don't know how long half-orcs live. Probably half-elf life.
I think they just live the same amount of length as human, or maybe shorter because orcs live short.
I don't know, yeah, that's why. But, I mean, as far as you all are aware, she sets up shop within Kalinra. She seems to have a pretty decent life. When the darkness comes, she tells all those who will listen that she was part of the ones who fought back. No one really cares. Her words kind of fall on deaf ears. She mourns Harlow as she does all of you. She doesn't mourn Veva because she does not know what happened to Veva. But she lives a happy life. And this cuts into Casimir.
Yeah, half-orcs live 70 years.
That's sad. I mean, it's fine.
Yeah. Yeah,
She's
that's
not,
so
she's
short.
not dying of old age anytime soon, but
No.
we turn to Casimir. Casimir. As Veva's death comes, as your epilogue begins, first question, I guess. Are you staying in Metropolis, or would you like to return to Arvlon?
Neither.
What would you like to do?
Honestly, he doesn't really have any real connections to Arvlon anymore, and obviously wouldn't stay with the party. He just doesn't really have that connection to them. I mean, he met Noai and Lahari late, only ones he started with. Most of them are dead now. One's just kind of leaving life altogether and going God knows where. So, considering she never got the chance to head there and find out what she wanted. He doesn't know what all she was trying to find out, but he'd find his way to the frontier if he could.
That's valid. You are welcome to. Hopping aboard a ship to the frontier. It's not easy, but you do so. Heading forth to find new grand adventures. As you find a boat, you find Riskers sitting there before you. This cat, in all of its fey trickery, meets your eyes. You hear, "Thought you could go without me, did you? Silly little dragon. I will always be by your side." As this giant cat leaps onto your shoulder.
Honestly, for probably the longest time, Kaz just has the most genuine, just actual, like, happy smile. And just says, "You know, I'm honestly grateful for the company. Always good to have someone you know on a new trip to a new place, right?"
And Riskers goes, "Yes! I can't wait to see what salmon exists on the frontier. I hope it is delicious." And Casimir,
Well,
you find your way to the frontier. As you land, you make your way throughout seeing the sights. Excuse me. Finding where battles once stood. Eventually, perhaps you wander for a long time, perhaps a short time. Jimmy has grown quiet over these couple of years, but as you land on the frontier, you hear, "Oh, what a place to be. Now that we're here, I suppose I should be open with you, shouldn't I? At least as open as one can be.
first time for everything.
Whatever animosity you might have thought there was, it's merely to make you stronger, boy. The world of the dragons is returning. And just as you once were, you can be again. It's a shame that things boiled out the way they did. But what can we do to change them? What can we do to fight fate? The dragons
Right
are
around.
the dragons are returning. Would you care to see the power you have amassed?
No, it's been so long running from everything, trying to deny what was happening. Hell with it. Show me what you got, buddy.
As you say this, you feel the present leave. A well of power building. You hear, "What you thought I was and what I am are two different things." What you thought had no name always did. Once upon a time they called me the first king. Now take the power and rise. As Casimir tapping into this well of power, you find yourself change. Gone are the symbols and hybrid nature of what once was. As you stand upon the frontier, you find you've returned to your true self, as was once dreamed of. Gone is Casimir the Bard. Now sits Casimir the Dragon, ushering in a new age, where perhaps the draconic creatures will do better than try to rule the world. And that is where your epilogue ends. And yes, that was always the intent for who, quote-unquote, Jimmy was.
So basically, what was in his head was two sides of the literally the same coin.
Oh yeah, pretty much. Eventually, you were meant to tap into this and become what you were supposed to be. Yeah, like the dragons are ever going to be good. No, they're just fucking evil. You're correct. Evil.
Oh,
Cass
no,
has
they're
a cat to take care
great.
of now. He's not going to try and rule the world. He might
No,
take over
no.
a field of catnip or something.
It's the joke that Maya's going to bring back the dragons, and they're just going to be evil again immediately when she brings them back on Thursday.
Yeah. And then said they're gonna have an
Immediate.
umbrella of existence.
Immediate evil. There's no fathom of a doubt.
So it's gonna be really funny when I bring them back and everyone's like, dude, I thought you fucking dropped
I thought
that
you
shit."
stopped that idea. No, I'm doing this still. Fuck you guys. That's when 11
Party
fucking
just
murders
gets a spray
you.
bottle for her.
Yeah, I get fucking
No.
Cut in
I
half.
get fucking demoted.
Phineas will help.
Fuck you.
Vanita's gonna walk on and be too busy walking on water.
Exactly. He's gonna be godlike.
Jesus, he's literally just becoming a Jesus.
I hate this. I
He has
hate this more than
acolytes.
life.
I have my disciples already.
I hate this more than
He's
life.
literally just Jesus.
I hate this more than life itself.
Oh, who? Vanitas?
Yeah, he took Godling as his mythic destiny.
Because I was like, yeah, we ran into a freaking oracle of Vanitas.
Yeah. Anyway, Lahari, for your epilogue, after seeing what happens, I ask of you the same question. Do you want to return to Arvlon, or do you want to stay in Metropolis and the Four Cities?
She'd probably stay in Metropolis, just because she's more so just a clean start, I guess, with the mess of what's happened with her family. At least she wants to see how the Veramores survived here, and also she's still investigating what's her how she managed to gain the the ability to wield the shadows.
Okay.
Since that's where she managed to get them, so that's where she'll start.
To start with, as you inquire, you are quickly told the Verylmores have always come from Metropolis. They are travelers of other worlds, and this was here that they settled down. Valis Verylmore was a outcast, not by purpose, rather by her choice. In choosing a self-imposed exile and moving to Arvlon back during the age of war for Metropolis, where things were far from calm, refusing to use her magics in one side or another. It sort of caused her to be excommunicated by the family. You, however, are welcome with open arms once you tell of your Verylmore blood. You are welcomed, much like the prodigal daughter returning after so long. What follows is weeks of celebration. They are perhaps the wealthiest family in the Four Cities. Despite choosing to exist in Metropolis proper, they have vacation homes in each of the settlements. Not a particularly large family. You are quickly told that most of the Verylmore line are vampires, purebloods dating back from their great-grandfather, a vampire hunter turned vampire by the name of Altras Verylmore. As you spend time with them, you could tell there are certain naming conventions where the firstborn child is often given an A name out of an honorific. And you are told, or rather see, that Astrid is a Verylmore. The adventures that you have in Metropolis are, for the most part, otherworldly. This place is home to so much, and given the time to truly explore, as time flows quicker here, 2 years across the prime material plane here is more akin to 20. You manage to train, growing mastery of the elements, growing powerful. Powerful enough to the point that when Resgoran, the True Namer, comes calling, coming to collect you, as you know he always would, you're able to fight him back. Turns out the wizard isn't that much of a fighter in a 1v1 scenario. Repelling Resgorn is one of the highlights where you wield your shadow impulses, tearing him apart. He reforms himself and flees. The people of Metropolis cheer. Many beg for you to run for Prime Minister, but this is when tragedy strikes. As the Nightborn Prince claims Arvlon, as the Shadowfell drops upon the Prime Material Plane, so too does the Prime Minister's plan go into action. Strange advisors from the Age of the Dragon, slumbering but not dead, arise. Strange lizard-like creatures, things that could only be dragons, have been seen flying throughout Metropolis. The Veromores, like every other family, are afraid. They panic. They don't know what to do. They turn to you, the grand hero. You must have some, experience fighting dragons. But is there any experience to gather against something that really hasn't existed for nigh on 300 years now? Eventually. It is just as Arvlon was once ruled by the dragons, so too now is Metropolis. They dubbed themselves the Draconic Rulers. And the Veromores, under your, perhaps, wording, perhaps just advisement, move to leave. Gathering power, you manage to create a portal back to the Prime Material Plane. The darkness is comforting and familiar all the same, even after all of these years. You find your way somewhere within Arvlon, wherever you would see so fit. You settle down. The Veromore Empire is wide and vast, and you are able to afford mansions wherever you would like. But as you do, eventually you get a postcard or two from Nawai, talking about how evil never rests. And it's a hard job, but somebody has to do it. An invitation to fight the good fight. He talks of his battle with the Atropol atop the Mountains of Madness, of joining with other heroes, much like our ragtag band never could be. He talks of how the lights bloom ever brightly, and that he wishes you were there atop the tower. And it is in this moment that you realize this sort of pain, this loss, as you look into a mirror, and for the first time, you do not see Zeron. She is gone. And as you stand there, thinking of what could be, as new dangers ricochet across the world, ever waiting, ever watching. As you stand, you hear a call. You hear, "O child of darkness, the elemental lights that flood through you. You are the only way to bring it back. You could usher in a new world. You can rule it all. All you have to do is wake me up." And Lahari, this voice, you have not heard it for 20 years. The voice of Tharizdun rings out in your mind. Tharizdun is dead, but still you hear it. And as you do, the final choice for you for this campaign. When given the choice, do you seek to tap into your powers further and find your peak? Or do you turn back for the sake of the world.
I spent 20 years doing what I could, managing to keep the Veromore family alive. And in the wake of the loss of Zeron, it doesn't feel right to undo the work that Noai said that he did with the rest of the heroes. She's gonna turn away from unlocking the rest of her power. She'll sit quietly in the shadows like she's always been. She'll and she'll want the rest of the Veromore family to follow suit. To not flaunt their power, but rather help guide small lights through the now dark Arvlon. And perhaps the upcoming spark for the next age of heroes, perhaps down the line, to help them where we can.
And as you do so, as you banish forth the power of Tharizdun, you feel a spark begin to grow within your body. You hold out a hand, as not wind is channeled, nor darkness, but each of the elements, one by one. As you stand there, gazing out, you hear a voice. Distant, but not gone, as in your hands appears an attenuator unlike any other. You hear, even after all these years, I never doubted you, child. To give up everything, the powers that you dream of. Well, I'm sure that makes you a hero. As there's a flash of light, burning ever bright. And Lahari, though, it may be moot. You think back to Nawai's words, and on a whim, controlling the winds, you fly to the top of the Mountains of Madness. You don't know how long it takes, because time is fickle, isn't it? And there you take your rightful seat, as the 9th of the 9 orders is awoken. And that is where your epilogue will end.
A lot kinder than I expected, thanks.
You made the right choice, that's all.
Fuck that. No, I sent a postcard telling me shit. He fucking helped out and did some good shit. Fuck that. I'm not reversing that shit.
God bless.
Fuck that. Nawai, your postcard. Let's fucking go.
I like that. I like to imagine Nawai just has like a stack of postcards.
He's just sending them out to all the homies, including like all the gods. He's fucking.
Yeah.
He's like, hey guys, I'm just sending updates, you know.
Gotta keep everybody like updated.
Yeah. Stay in touch after like 20 fucking years.
But our final epilogue before we move to any questions that need answering. Oh, Fishman, oh, Fishman. Oh, Fishman, my Fishman. I guess my first question, Nawai. They've entrusted to you a sword and a chakram. Are you keeping both? Or are you going to take this sword and throw it into the void? Veva won't know. I'll mute Maya. Let me deafen Maya real quick. She'll never know. Okay,
I will be keeping both. No, I saw Viva trying to. This was a sword from the Garu fight, right?
Yes.
No, I will definitely keep the sword. He saw how much Veva was trying to help the spirit inside of it.
Okay. That is the first question. The spirit of Liliana within the sword never really interacts with you. You would tell over the next 2 years. However, maybe it's not quick, but maybe 5, 6 months after the events of the Halls of Reflection, the chakram granted to you, one day Canis taps you on the shoulder. You hear, I appreciate you keeping watch over this, but she's gone and there's no bringing her back. We all have a life to live. I entrust this ore to you, but it may never have life again. As the chakram of star metal turns into a non-magical ore of star metal in your hands. But, rewinding some, as your epilogue begins back within the halls of reflection, back within Metropolis, as Veva crumbles, as the party splits their ways. I guess the question is, where would you like to go first and why?
I feel Nawai, the first thing he would have done since he's already in Metropolis would have been to meet up with Skeletrax and the other Azarketi in the city.
As you arrive down in the tavern, you make it down. Skeletrax looks towards you in his giant form. As he smiles, he goes, took you long enough. But I'm sorry to hear about your friend. She died a warrior's death, I'm sure.
Yes, and she left with me something very important, so I'm hoping to take care of it.
Good head on your shoulders. I've got a gift for you. As he presents to you a belt of oils of swiftness. It contains an infinite amount of them. You just have to spend an action to draw one out.
That is the most thoughtful gift, I'm not gonna
He
lie.
looks at you and goes, what can I say? I love to see a fishman oiled up.
I can't. I can't.
I genuinely love him so much.
Oh my god! I like it because I don't think you apply the oil swiftness to yourself. I imagine like you apply it to your weapon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but hey, if there's infinite amounts of them, like, what's the harm?
you're just gonna apply it like fucking sun tanning oil.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey.
Yeah, exactly.
doesn't run
You
out.
got it. You got it. Yeah, 100%. Skeletrax looks towards you then and goes, these people need a leader. You were always raised to be one. Oh, hero of ages, as he raises an eye looking at you. But are you ready to lead?
I am.
Good.
I'm
You're
a bit surprised with what's happening here.
He looks at you and goes, well, you're about to be more so. Because we have company in 3, 2... Before he says 1, the roof of this underground tavern is blown off as the blood-eyed queen stands. You think you could leave, no I? Just because Veva died, the others scatter? You're going to leave me here? Flee to your little fish people? And why? What do you say?
Nawai's gonna look to her and he's gonna say, I had every intention of getting around to you. I just need a little more time, but since you're here, might as well.
She nods and goes, indeed. We might as well dance. You see her raise a hand as skewers strike up out of the ground, killing a third of the Azarketi scattered around. The people begin to panic. You hear them call out, oh, hero! Hero of ages! You must defeat her, please! She looks at you, no eye. And for a single moment, her eyes turn back to normal. She looks at you, tears pouring down her face. You have to do it, no eye. their hold over me. It's too. Their eyes snap back and go, enough out of you. You little slaves have ran too far. We offered you grandiose terms. Serve us for eternity and live. Oh, disobey and die. And Noah, you could see all over Ami's body. She is wearing very loose-fitting clothing. Strange. It looks like burn marks that are tentacle-shaped. Markings of the aboleths. She has been through both physical and mental torture. It is an amazement that her body still is able to stand, as she is conjuring spells of the highest quality, raising your people. You see Anitu sits on her shoulder, belching out fire, like a little turret. You can see in his eyes an evil smile. But they're just his eyes. While Ami is under the aboleth's control. Anitu was always evil. Anitu was always her patron.
Yep.
And no patron is good. At least. No patron that would allow this to happen to their famed witch. What follows, Skeletrax looks towards you, Nawai, and goes, no one would judge you of your actions. Are you a hero or not, Nawai? Will you do this world proud? And he leans back against the counter, arms crossed, as if waiting to watch what happens. What do you do?
Is she levitating in the air, or is she on the floor at the moment?
Oh yeah, she's probably like 40 feet in the air.
Gotcha. Okay. Let's see. Give me 1 second. I need to look through some stuff.
You are good. You are good. Skeletrax.
Well, I guess the first thing that Nawai is going to do is he's going to look to Ami, and he's going to draw his trident. He's going to say to her that you were a friend to me before anybody else was. The party split up now, but you were there from the beginning. And we both rescued Anitu from the laboratory. We had an adventure together before my adventure even really begun.
As you say this,
That
Anitu
will
shouts
happen.
out, not quite! I rescued you from the laboratory! It was all my evil plan!
Well, thank you for ruining my heartfelt speech right there.
You're welcome! The evil does as evil will! He continues belching fire. Anyway, continue, yes.
Yep. No, I was gonna say, well, anyway, before I was interrupted, I just wanted to thank you for helping me, trying to understand the tablet. And as my last service to you, I will have to put you to rest. But just know that this is done for you and also for the world. As Nawai is going to try to use esoteric lore on her to know her weaknesses and get ready for combat.
Miko's rolling a 1-1 combo would take 12 years. Nawai, what follows is a battle of epic proportion. Good versus evil, and by the end of it, honestly, you're not sure what side you were and what side she was. At the end, scarred and burnt in hundreds of places, you prove victorious. The Blood-Eyed Queen is slain. You hold Anitu at trident point. Do you have any last words for the cat, Moai?
Despite you being evil, from the get-go, I did have fun traveling with you. When you at least showed care for Ami and wanting to rescue her.
Anitu looks at you and goes, I should have sacrificed you to the vampires when I had a chance. Curse
But
her foolish heart. As you drive the trident into Anitu, banishing this archfiend back to the hells. As you do, you realize, Noai, you fought this fiend before. For Satanos' honor. Back in the hells on one of your little missions. It's been watching you, stalking you. It hates you, as if it had seen that you would fight it. Strange. But as you stand victorious, Skeletrax clapping. I'll see to it that the Azalketi get safely to Arvlon. There they will be able to find a solace away from the aboleths. But you, my boy, 2 years of wandering can make or break a person. Where are you headed next? Because I think you know your job's not done.
Yep. I had a question, actually. Because one of the main things why Noai is in Metropolis is to retrieve Satnos' God Shard. Would he be able to do that in his epilogue, or is that like an escape thing?
Ooh. Yes. I will say you would spend probably the next year or so, assisted by Lahari as she's still in Metropolis, finding your way to the heart of the Four Cities. The God Shard of Satnos is imprisoned alongside this strange, magical lady. She claims to not know why she is imprisoned, but that she's been here for quite a while. As you find her, you mention, you're on the hunt for a God Shard. For Tharizdun. Jesus. Satnos. I'm sorry, I have Tharizdun on the brain. I apologize. That's my bad. It's definitely not Tharizdun.
Tharizdun on the brain.
I made a token for Thursday for Mythic Power Toggle, and it's the token icon is just Tharizdun, so that's all I can think about.
You're totally good.
It was just very funny. But anyway, the woman introduces herself as V. She says that if you can get her out, she can lead you to the God Shard. Do you do so?
Do I sense that she's lying, perhaps, or
no.
anything?
As you talk, you would be reminded. Were you there? I think you were there when Estime offered something that if you guys would go kill this person for him.
Yeah.
This is the person he wanted killed.
I see. Then I do release her.
So you do? She wields a strange magic. The same kind of magic that Nialis had, that the Prince of the Nightborn took from him. With her at your side, guided by spell flame, you find Satnos' shard. As you do, the two of you go your separate ways. The girl claims that she's heard the call of a new war leader, a place to find acceptance, and that you'd be very welcome in the city of Iori to join them if you so wish. At the same time, the crack of thunder appears Satnos. You hear, well, if it isn't the goat himself, the Fishman! As he begins clapping, there's fireworks going off like crazy. Now give me my God Shard.
As promised, here it is. Sorry it took so long.
He looks and goes, I expected you to not find it at all. I'll be so gods be damned honest. But this is why you're the goat. And your reward. As you see, he takes the shard. It's a little like shard of a crystal. He snaps it in half. Goes, for your trouble. As he holds it out to you.
I will take it, and I'll look to him and I'll say, am I supposed to eat this?
Oh, don't worry. I've got it. As he walks up to you, angles the god shard right at your heart, slams it in. I need a fortitude save, Noai.
Got you. Okay, that's not bad.
Do you want to keep this roll?
Hey!
You have a plus
It's a
21.
15.
I'd hope you roll well.
It's a 15, man.
It could be
I'm
better.
gonna roll-
It
could be, but
It could be so
knowing
much
me-
worse.
Knowing me,
It could be so much worse. As the shard pierces your heart, you stay standing. He looks at you and goes, huh. That was not supposed to happen. He looks at you,
are
Noai.
you trying to?
Huh. What are we gonna do about this? Now,
What do you-
I'd never try to hurt you, my boy. I mean, shit, you're probably my favorite hero I've ever met. Well, hero's a loose word. You're not really much of a hero. You're more of like a annoyance. My favorite annoyance, yes. I don't believe in heroes. Where's Veva?
Nothing.
Speaking of
Veva
annoyances.
died.
He goes, damn!
Veva died.
I'm sorry,
And-
buddy.
She left me Canis to take care of.
I hate when people die and they leave you their wives. Like, I could only fuck so many people's wives before it gets old. You know what I mean? You've been married a time or two. I think you get it.
Apparently, I've been married a time, so I think I get it. Yeah.
Yeah, see, you understand. Anyway, now we're in this really awkward point of you're supposed to, well, you know, croak, I guess you might say.
Again,
Look, we could do it the easy way or the hard way. What are you feeling today?
probably the easy way. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Hard way, if you insist. Has Noai, please set yourself to full HP.
Okay.
Is standing before you. Satnos. He looks at you, goes, if you could land one hit on me, a single hit, we do it the easy way. Alright?
Okay. Do I get a full round of actions?
He looks at you and goes, you can have 3 full rounds of actions.
3 full rounds. Okay.
And if you can get a single hit, you win. If you don't, we're gonna do it the hard way. I'm gonna probably like rip your limbs off and sew them in the wrong places. It sounds fun. But
All right.
ding ding ding. As if you would roll initiative for me, please, Noai. As you go to battle. Oh, I didn't make the thingy. There you go. Now you can roll. As you go to battle with Satnos, the king of gods. He rolled a 4.
Well,
He looks at you and goes, well, I'm ready when you are!
yo. I will.
And
Uh,
start us off, sir.
I'll rage. Do my little thing. I'll exploit vulnerability. Hopefully it works. Am I not selected on myself? I can't do it.
Are you? Did you click on yourself?
I did. I'm selected. Wait. I think it's because I'm also selected on any two.
Oh, that might be why.
Yeah, that was why. Well,
Critical failure.
oh,
He goes, is that all you've got?
well. Give me 1 second. I will use Skeletrax's little gift, the oil of swiftness.
Noai
And that's
anoints
it.
himself.
Yup.
Alright, that's turn 1.
Yup.
Turn 2. Satnos looks at you and goes, huh, look what I could do. As he grabs his foot and kicks himself in the face. Ah! That hurt! He takes 44 damage. Now see if you can do that! Your second turn, go.
Let's try this again. Surely, this time. That was a 17. I'm not getting that. Okay, I'm gonna stop trying that. I'm gonna just walk up, man. Let's see. I can't even do that. I can't use the stances. I need an exploit. Oh my goodness. Okay. Alright, no exploit. It's gonna be... I'm gonna activate the Surge of Focus.
Okay. Wrong one.
And then I'm going to...
That's the saving throw one.
Oh, my bad.
It's okay.
So sorry. The
Strike.
strike one.
There
The
you
Surge of Focus. There we go. It's just one hit, right? I don't need to, damage him a certain amount?
Nope, just gotta hit him.
Just gotta hit him.
Just gotta hit him.
Okay. Surely.
That's close.
Okay, well, that was a 12.
Do you want a hero point it?
I will. I should not have.
You know what, buddy?
It's just...
It's a classic.
Spoiler.
It's a
It's
classic
just what
Noai move. He looks at
It's
you and
just what
goes,
happens.
"And here I thought you were learning something. One last try."
Yup.
We're just gonna use the god kick and kick you to death.
Okay, let's do this again. Okay,
Holy shit!
Wow.
Yes! Let's fucking go!
Tiny little bits of damage.
A tiny little bit, but hey.
Hey, he took extra for some. He's weak to slashing for some reason. What? That's silly. As you strike with your trident, you feel the power of the Dusk Watchers emanate within you. You hear a voice booming that, well, perhaps the first Dusk Watcher long ago, you hear a dwarven voice. "Quick! Kick him in the shins!" And why? As you stab your trident into Satnos' throat, he looks down at you and goes, Well. I am amazed. Always knew you had it in you. And here we are. Easy way it is. As he claps his hands, and Noai, you are consumed in flame. Bye-bye,
Got
Noai.
you.
Bye-bye, Noai. And that is where your epilogue ends. Dead to the nose. That would be funny as fuck. No.
Easy way it was, man.
As you are consumed by flame, you soon awaken on what looks like a dirt road. Looking around, it seems to be an enormous graveyard. You look, and it doesn't look like the one where Garu escaped from. It's not the Graveyard of Heroes, but it is an enormous graveyard nonetheless. You see the path continues on, stretching further and further. And as you are alone, you realize the only thing you have on you is your Satnos token. Seems he left you it. What a kind, kind guy.
Got you.
As you start walking, you pass by hundreds of open graves, and others less so. The names on the gravestones soon become familiar. Enemies you have fought throughout your adventure. NPCs you have met, some of them open graves, others buried. You walk, and after about 6 or so hours of wandering, you find a figure up ahead. A figure that you, sir, know well.
Mhm.
Standing before you is Jericho. He looks not in his usual casual wear. Instead, he is decked out in what looks like heavy star metal armor. The same trident that you wield in his hand. So he looks towards you, a solemn expression on his face. Took you long enough? What were you, taking in the sights?
I was actually fighting Sotnos.
I know, when he slammed that god shard into you, it sort of severed connections and left you in the... It wasn't the space between spaces, but it was kind of like a limbo. I don't know what he does. Kind of scares me, honestly. How'd your fight go? Did you do good?
I got a hit in after he kicked himself first.
He
One
is
singular hit.
he is crazy. I think most would kill for the chance to hit him even once. Jericho looks towards you and goes, but on a more serious note, we stand at the birthplace of the great evil. And it's getting hungry.
Mhm.
He looks at you. Where are your weapons? Where are your arms? What are you doing? No, You're
I
almost
was
naked!
I'm sorry, I only got sent with the Sotnos token, and I think he wanted me to use it if we were to fight this right now.
And he looks at you and goes, Satnos is dumb, but I don't think he'd put you into that. Maybe we have time. Quick, this way. We'll see if we have any armaments left that will fit you. Luckily, we're pretty similar in size, so we'll see. As he enters into a jog leading into a run. He is moving very quickly, despite the armor. It looks like heavy plate mail, but he moves effortlessly as if it is weightless. It's nicer than, honestly, any armor you've seen before. One of a kind. As he jogs, do you follow?
I do. I try to
I
keep
will
pace with
need
him.
an athletics check to keep pace.
Got you, got you.
You are almost
Yeah.
immediately falling behind.
Yep.
He looks back at you and goes, come on, no why. What's all that training gotten to? You can move faster than that. Let me get one more athletics roll.
Okay. Okay.
Perhaps his light-hearted teasing is enough as you begin to move faster, running down, following Jericho's path. Eventually, the two of you make a turn. So you can see what looks like an enormous tower made of a dark black obsidian surrounded by a field of blue roses. He goes, don't mind the sights too much. It's a tower of a friend. But I think he wants to meet you.
Beautiful here.
You could say that. For a place ravaged by the great evil, you'd think it'd be a little more, I don't know, desolate?
Yeah. Gray, even.
But he opens the door, goes, I'm going to go down to the armory. Walk up, it's the 3rd flight of stairs up, you'll find a door. It's an unmarked door, just walk in. I think they're expecting you.
I will nod to Jericho and follow his directions.
As you walk up the stairs of the tower, you climb to the top of this mentioned room. You find this unmarked door. As you push it open, you would find inside a large circular table, like a war table for a council or an army, where the leaders sit to discuss. There is a map in the middle of the table. It looks like a map of Arvlon. You could see a blanket of darkness wrap around it. There are many chairs that are pushed in and empty. One chair all the way towards the back. It's back to you. There's a single chair right at the front, pulled out, as if for you. Do you take a seat?
I will take a seat.
As you do, the chair turns, and a figure comes to stare at you from across the way. Seated across from you at the other end of the table, an incredibly tall half-elf, 7'4", bright blonde hair, and eyes that seem as if they've seen every darkness, but still they smile. Sitting across from you is Lancel Dumaine. He looks towards you, Nawai, with a grin. Well, if you want just the spitting image of your grandfather, do you get that a lot?
I think that's the third time or second time I've heard that.
Nods.
Third time, actually.
Yes, well, you certainly look just like him. Are you a coward? No offense, I don't mean anything rude by it. Dear old grandpa was a bit of a coward, especially at the start there.
Noai thinks for a little bit, and he will say, if I am a coward, I will still be there. I'll be there on the front line shaking if I must be.
Good answer. Your grandfather, when I met him, he had that sort of pris and proper prince-likeness that really just... If I wasn't such a good person, I don't know what would have happened to him. Of course, there was the whole warlock draining his existence thing, but we let bygones be bygones. You know how it goes. Nawai it is, right?
Yes.
I apologize. I feel like I've never really made your acquaintance. I know we've met briefly before, but not in instances like this. If anything,
When we met...
Yeah, good.
Sorry, I was just going to say, when we met before, it was on Satnos' ship, and you were kind of chewing him out for getting involved with the current heroes of the world and such.
If this is your way of calling me a hypocrite, I know already.
No, I was just saying, that's probably why we haven't interacted much.
Not, because I also put... If I was a betting man, I would have put all my cards in on Veva. But she... He sighs a little bit. She is no longer with us.
Noai nods, but he doesn't really say much after that.
Fishman, fishman, fishman. Do you know what you've done, Mr. Nawai? It's not a trick question or anything. I'm just genuinely asking. I don't know if you know the gravitas of it.
What I've done recently?
Yes and no. Over the course of your career as a hero. Do you know what you've done? Do you understand?
I would hope that I've... Cool. I've tried to make allies where I can. I've tried to always help my party that is now disbanded, unfortunately.
No, I'm well, sure, you did all of that, but do you know what you've gotten into? Do you know truly what you've done?
Noai looks a little confused by that. He knows that Satnos has offered him to come to the frontier, but the heroes of old were like, "That's not for you yet, buddy." So right now he's kind of just going about doing his thing. So he'll say, "I'm just kind of going with the flow at the moment."
You're as oblivious as your fucking grandfather. Did I ever tell you about the time I caught him out sleeping with a giant? I don't even know how that worked. The giant was 4 times the size of him. I'm going to ask you one more time. As this incredibly tall half-elf climbs on top of the table and starts walking towards you to the point that he's standing, maybe like 30 inches from your face. Do you know what you've done?
I don't think so. I hope nothing bad though.
He looks at you, and this expression on his face, it's unreadable. Can I get a sense motive, a perception check, please?
You got it.
No, why? Your instincts are telling you you're about to get your head punched off.
Oh.
Much like what should have happened to Veva. Yet. What?
She escaped it by dying.
But he looks at you, Nawai, for a long moment and goes, "Let me just tell you what you did." His voice is strained. Gets even closer, to the point that his face is maybe 10 inches of space between the two of you. He goes, You little, you, gods be damned, you little, you, and he stops. He goes, "You gods be damned hero. You saved my wife," as he embraces you in the tightest hug you have ever received.
Oh my god, you're so right.
He goes,
I forgot that I sent her on that mission to
"To
research.
not get to the frontier, yeah! You saved her from the great evil." As he embraces you, he goes, "I've wanted to do that since I found out. I'm so sorry. I'm a little awkward. I can't help it. It comes when you save the world more times than most people know how to count to 10. Oh, my. I don't care what Satanos says or what any of those fuckers say. You've proven yourself worthy of the mantle, fish boy. You've proven yourself worthy 15 times over. And I want you to know, from one hero to another, that you are worthy of the mantle that you bear. That the heroes of old, when they chose you to uphold for this age, they chose correctly. I hear they're calling you the hero of ages. Lofty title. I didn't get called anything near as nice.
I didn't even know I had a title.
Lixie goes, "I think your friends did and they didn't tell you out of spite."
They kind of teased me about it when I got back.
Well, a title it is, and one of might. You've gone through multiple worlds, you've befriended Satanos, Skeletrax, Shattered Prince, the list goes on. The mantle presented to one mortal hero in this age, meant to fight back the darkness, meant to fight back against the terrors of the world, and fight you have. And now you walk the road that I too once walked alone. Once I traveled the Shadowfell for 800 years alone. My party disbanded much like yours. Friends had died, and I knew there was purpose. I knew I had to keep going to take to the fight. In my age, Tharizdun was the threat. He had to be stopped, no matter what. I don't know if you've ever heard of the world in Terradis, but, well, we had to stop it from happening. We had to do
We
whatever
went
it
there
took.
for a brief time.
I'm sorry for your loss then, sir. But in the end, new allies were found, new brothers in arms unlike any others. The adventure continued, and while once I was alone, I soon found myself joined by those I cared about once again. He looks at you. Are you ready to give up, fish boy? Are you ready for your story to end?
No, not quite actually.
No? Is not saving my wife heroism enough?
I think I have a couple more things on my to-do list to check off before I'm done. I'm not gonna lie.
You're right, that was selfish of me, I apologize. But the question still stands, in all serious nature. You currently walk this road alone. The path you take, it is a difficult one. A path I have walked, a path you now walk. Are you sure you're willing to do it?
I am. Because even though I may be alone in the moment, I know that I'm not going to truly be alone. As Noai would kind of gesture to where Jericho would normally stand, because he's not in the room right now.
Mhm.
And then he would also point to his shadow where Dave is probably just residing. I've made allies that are with me constantly, and allies that are around if I ever needed to depend on them, like Skeletrax.
Stalwart
I may be.
allies for the hero of ages. If you would care to, I would show you what fate awaits the world. A threat that, no matter how much I wish to, my hands are tied upon.
Sure.
He walks over to a corner of the room where he unveils what looks like a statue. The statue is of 3 figures holding a child between them. A child you would recognize as the one you found in Antari's castle that tried to kill Lily and ripped out Casimir's heart.
Oh, okay.
It is that child.
I see.
You would see the statues, 3 faces, one of which you recognize as Veva. There is a threat on the frontier that is slowly taking to the mainland. Using the cover of darkness, it calls itself the Reverend, believes itself some sort of priestly being, an entity of mutation of otherworldly might. Its very touch is enough to alter people into monsters. I know not how many years we have before it arrives, but arrive it shall. I understand that Arvlon is no world of mine. It is not my place to save, it is not my home. But it is yours. Even now, as the darkness spreads, a grand hunger awakens in its people. As the aboleth is let loose atop the mountains of madness. Dare I say you have your work cut out for you. And he looks down at the table, looks down at the map. I wish I was allowed to help in a more physical manner. But there are prices to be paid for breaking the rules as is. Well, I cannot do much more. I can offer you this. As you are now, you cannot be. As you are now, you cannot continue. If what you wish is to fight the good fight, all I can do is open the door for you. As you could see at the very end of this room, a single door of white ivory.
Gotcha.
You say you have found friends. If what you speak is true, beyond the door you will find them. Perhaps they may make your choice easier.
Noai nods, and he will say, "Does anything happen to Jericho if I go through this door?"
He looks towards you. He smiles and goes, "He's right beyond the door. You can ask him yourself. It's not my place to answer questions like that. You're a hero, boy. You've earned all the rights that every hero has earned. No one's going to take that from you."
Noai smiles, and he will go and hug Lancel before he walks through the door.
He hugs you back. As he does, he whispers into your ear. "And when you find yourself back on the prime material plane, I've left you a care package. Stay hush-hush about it. Don't tell Satanos." As you go through the door, Noai, you find yourself standing at a crossroad. Hundreds, if not thousands, of different paths turning. As you stand, you begin to see familiar figures. They stand each down a separate path, one by one by one. The first figure you see is Skeletrax. He looks towards you, gives a big thumbs up. You then see the Shattered Prince. He looks, he nods, tilt of his head, and sort of motions, and sort of like, "Let's go, get moving down this path." Third is Satanos. His path, it looks like he's been stomping around on fire, and he looks pissed off, as he often is.
Yeah.
You can see he has a chest in his arms. He's holding it out, and you hear him. You can see him mouthing, "If you come this way, you could have this chest." But from all you know of Satanos, he will never relinquish his chest. The next... Oh, 1 second. I just scrolled to the top of my fucking 20 pages of notes for this game. Oh my god.
You're
1
good.
second. I hit spacebar. I hit spacebar on my keyboard. It took me all the way to the top. The next... You could see... the open air of what can only be the frontier. After that, a beautiful undead lich, Fira Lescavel. She looks towards you, and she winks in a very seductive manner. The next two figures that you met upon the frontier for your brief time there. The first, a strange green-robed man. He looks like he's cleaning out his jar of toes with some sort of cleaning solution, as some of the toes have begun to rot. He is very upset. Standing behind him is a strange purple man that you would know to be the god of lies, Cyric. Cyric looks towards you, looks at the green man, and shakes his head. Looks at you, and you hear in your head, "No matter what you choose, boy, destiny is interlocked. Heed their words, and give this one a toe, won't you?" As you look down, Noai, you find you're wearing slippers, and one of your toes just pops off.
And I try to grab it back.
As you do, I'll take a... athletics, why not? You grab your toe as it's like floating towards this green dude. And the green man sighs. He goes, "Please, I just need more toes. The jar's almost full." And as he says
Maybe
this,
next time.
the jar of toes. You can see they all have little eyes and little mouths as they start doing they start doing the Oompa Loompa dance from fucking Willy Wonka. It's horrifying.
Yep.
It's horrifying because they're like kind of drowning in cleaning solution as it's happening. So they're dancing as they sink beneath the liquid and they're never seen again. Those poor severed toes. And the paths continue. More figures you would know, figures you have seen again and again. Some allies, some enemies even. You would see the vampire mage Antari. You would see the Regent of Darkness. Towards the end, you even see Estime himself, as he looks towards you and he goes, I lost my favorite son. But you could be so much better. You could be my masterpiece. If you join me. And the last...
Okay.
What?
I was just saying I'm okay.
The last path you see is a figure that you know well. One who's been with you longer than you've ever known. You see down the final path stands Jericho. He looks towards you with a smile. He goes, a crossroads of life, the most difficult choice we ever have to make. I know you'll choose the right one. And regardless of what happens, no, I never could have asked for a better partner. This world is lucky to have you to protect it. The hero of ages moniker. It is one right and true. Just and bright. There is nobody who could uphold it better than you.
Thank you, Jericho. I don't think this decision was really difficult at all. As Noai will turn to everyone as he's with Jericho, and he will say, I'm not sure what this means for our time together. But if fate allows it, I would like to meet you all again. As he chooses the path of Jericho.
As you do so, you hear amidst the crowd of favorites, from your shadow appears Dave. He looks towards you. He goes, you can see tears in his shadowy eyes. I knew you'd choose right. Don't worry. It's not goodbye. Just to see you later. As you and Jericho walk down the path, reminiscing about the good times, about the adventures you've held, about the 10 years or so in Metropolis that you spent getting Satnos' God Shard back, that weirdly you did not age a day.
Interesting.
Weird, to say the least. And at the end of the path, Jericho looks towards you and goes, You're going to have to give up some of it, you know. But never your memories. Never your connections. They'll remember you and you them. And this, as he pulls up the ore that was left to you from Canis after her demise. This will be the key. You may not hear me. You may not see me. But I'm there still. And once you unlock this, once you solve the puzzle, we truly can take to this world what we have always meant to. It is said the world will end in a storm of shadows. You can't let it happen, Noai. When you feel the hunt, you can't give in to it. And when you meet her, the everlasting beauty, the only one like you, to age but not age. And I know you will choose right. As he presses the ore into your hand, The Satnos token burns brightly on your person. It would be in your pocket or something. It's your Satnos voice in the echo go, breaking the rules for this one. Don't tell anybody. As Nawai, you step forward off the path, and you begin to fall. And you fall for what feels like eternity, falling through space, through time. And you come to deep in the middle of a darkened wood. You've never been here before, but you could feel the shadows wrap around you. You could feel the otherworldly cold that is only akin to the Shadowfell. And you see a sight of a beautiful figure. Her beauty quite literally otherworldly. Pale white skin, bright blue hair, eyes that glow a bright crimson red. I'm looking for the token.
No problem.
Oh my god. I found it. You'd see atop her head a crown of blackened thorns. Her mouth streaked red with blood. She looks towards you. Well. If it isn't the one I so thought to see. No, why is it?
How close is she to me?
Within 5 feet. If
Got
anything,
you.
she's standing and you're sort of like, not laying on the floor, but sort of like on your back, like knees, like you're about to jump up, but you're not standing.
Got you. Now I would get up and like dust himself off before extending a hand and saying, Nawai Osfel, who might you be, if you don't mind me asking?
You may call me the Grand Progenitor. And she smiles. You've been away from this world for a bit, haven't you, boy?
Yes, I think so.
Well, I apologize. You've caught me right after a feed. As her eyes shift from crimson red to this bluish green of the ocean. Very inviting smile on her face. Would you care for some? As she motions behind her, where you could see a body of an elvish man. He is convulsing on the floor, 2 vampire bites on his neck. It looks like he is being bled to death, but it's a very slow process. As he is convulsing, the expression on his face is nothing but pure joy. He doesn't even seem to know that he is dying.
Power to him. All power to him, man. No, I would look to her and he would say, do you have anything less humanoid, perhaps?
Curious. You don't feel the hunger?
Would I remember Jericho mentioning that?
Yes.
Before we... Okay.
Yes, you would.
I remember my friend telling me about that, but I haven't experienced anything like it yet.
You will with time. You will with time. Well, enjoy your time upon the material plane, Nawai Asfel. Enjoy what you see. The city of Thyserian is not too far away. You might even make it before the monsters get you. Good luck. And as she says this, she disappears. At the same time, you hear the howl of inhuman monsters, lycanthrope-like creatures.
Mm-hmm.
The ore of star metal glows in your hand, as you could feel a hum, unlike anything you've heard before. as bounding into the courtyard. Strange creatures, almost like a giant centipede, except it stands upright, and instead of little legs, it has hundreds of human arms growing out of its torso, and a giant mouth. As it stands over you, rushing forward to eat you, you realize, as much as things change, so many do stay the same. And as you slay the creature, you hear a whistling sound. A roving band of elves call out, Did you kill that yourself?
Yeah, it was just me. I have no one here with me.
Gods, we could use you. We are a storm of shadows, and we are recruiting to save this world from the darkness. If you would follow us, we will lead you to safety.
Noai smiles, thinking about how his first adventure began, and he nods and he follows them.
As you do so, as you enter into the city of Thyserion, readying yourself for a new adventure, a part of you, distant and weird, you recall the time Satanos made a clone of you. So you hear Satanos' words in your head. Oh, no. Your job is not done. There's an Atropol that needs killing. And they need their Duskwatcher. To the mountain you go! As Noai, you feel yourself transported once more to the top of the Mountains of Madness, to Elavanis, to await the other heroes of Elavanis, to do battle with the greatest foe to mankind. The Atropol that which its entrance into the world during the Blood Moon allowed the Grand Progenitor to be free. As you wait atop Elavanis, you begin to send out postcards, as one would do. You have a lot of time to kill. It seems like the other heroes, they're a little caught up with something. Some sort of king in white and having to kill Foros and yada yada. Who knows? But you await them atop the mountain, ready to show them that there are other heroes in the world, and that you mean business just as they do. And that is where your epilogue will end, Noai.
I actually had a question.
Yeah, of course, by all means.
At the top of the Mountain of Madness is where the Serpent King is, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
His abode is a castle above Elavanis, because he has to be better than them.
Uh-huh. Is there any way for me to get him down to where I am?
Oh, you could go to him, yeah. You climb clouds. He lives in a storm giant castle. So you climb the clouds to basically his castle. Yeah, you're welcome to do so.
Got you.
As you do.
I think you know what I'm going to ask.
Yeah, 1 second. As you climb to, you see the Serpent King is standing over a strange silver dragonborn. The Serpent King is berating him with words. He's going, Mehen who? Mehen who? Mehen who? As the Dragonborn sobs. No! I don't want to be a who! I am Mehen! As he's crying. And the Serpent King's going, oh, but who are you? Mehen? Who's that? Ha ha ha! He looks towards you as you arrive and goes, welcome, my friend. Long time no see.
It's been quite a while. I was stopping by, though. I had some time up here.
Time, I'm sure you have a lot of that. How goes it, my friend? How goes the hero work?
Well, I was gonna start in a new city, but Satnos teleported me here saying I was supposed to fight the Atropol with the other heroes. I believe you were telling Veva and I about that. Unfortunately, Veva's dead right now.
A shame.
So it's just me.
He looks at you. You're gonna fight the Atropol? I see.
With the others. I was told there were others.
Yeah, the big one, the small one, the horned one, the bioterrorist. Yes, I know all about them.
But yes, that's what I'm here. And I also had a favor to ask if you didn't
A
mind.
favor? Curious. Usually I am the one asking favors of others. Yes, anyway, continue.
Well, I know your whole thing is rewriting reality and all.
That is a favorite pastime of mine.
Yes, yes, I'm sure. Um, there's been this person that I've been having some sort of beef, I guess you could say, with for so long. I haven't spoken to them recently, but I thought I'd just make their life a little more entertaining. Entertaining for me, probably not for them.
I see. And who might this person be?
Erdan. Erdan, the Exarch of Magic.
He raises an eyebrow. You don't seem like the magic-y type.
I'm not. I have no spells of my own. But
Good.
he and I
Magic just makes you mad. And not in a good way. What is the favor you seek?
I wanted you to rewrite history in such a way that you know how similar to like Sotnos when you say his name he gets like a ping in his head?
I do.
Um I wanted you to like, rewrite history so that every time someone says the Asarch, the Erdan gets a ping in his head essentially.
The Serpent King looks at you and goes, Diabolical. I love it. I won't even claim one of your wives as tax. Very well, as he claps his hands. It is done.
I thank you.
Nods and he goes, Enjoy your time in Elvanis, my friend, and enjoy the new adventures that will set foot before you. I can tell it's truly going to be a story to die for.
I will not and I will
No,
leave him to his dragon friend there.
As you return to Elvanis, why? You would find Jericho once more is exploring the halls of the Duskwatchers, as fanciful as always mentioned. As you are exploring, you soon find a suit of armor, much like the star metal armor Jericho wore in the graveyard before. It
Mhm.
looks to fit you perfectly. As you grab up your trident, as you grab up your belt of oils of swiftness, as you ready yourself. You spend much time training. You're not sure how long it will be before they arrive, but you could hear the wail of the Atropol at night when you go to rest. And shortly before the other heroes would arrive, shortly before the battle for Elvanis would begin, you hear a gust of wind. You move to the doors of Elvanis, this enormous golden castle-like structure. As you open it, you see a familiar face standing outside. In her hands, a strange attenuator that you have never seen before. As you realize, the 9 doors are open. And that is where it will end for now. Dun dun
No
dun.
problem.
Whoosh. But, of course, as our epilogues wrap up, and I imagine people may have questions about stuff that was planned and or going on for characters or anything, as long as it does not interfere with anything, I have a good 20 pages of notes for this game. Anything you would like to ask, feel free. I will answer. I'm going to go use the bathroom real quick, get some water, reconvene like 2-3 minutes, and we could answer questions and whatnot that people might have.
Gotcha, gotcha.
So good.
You guys can go first with your questions if you have any. A lot of my questions are very side story questions, like stuff that we started and never finished, essentially.
Yeah.
That's fair. That's fair. I'm trying to think of some questions. Uh,
I wasn't expecting you to die, Maya.
No, genuinely. That shit
Oh,
fucking
I planned
surprised
that with
me.
Dylan.
Oh,
Yeah,
you
I
did?
figured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why it was so fucking brutal. Jesus Christ!
Stop killing your characters. That's twice in a row now.
I was just like, wait, why is he fucking just Jesus! It just kept going. I was like, what the fuck is happening?
I was gonna beg Satnos to use the Satnos token to get you, like, get your claim back to Arvlon. But then Dylan was like, oh no, I talked to Maya, we got it. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then you died, and I was like, oh.
Yeah, my message was
That's
like,
what he
yeah, we
meant.
need to kill Veva. I go, that's all I've ever wanted in my life.
Yeah, it worked out.
I've been waiting
Sets
for
up,
those
sets up what I
words.
wanted. Very well.
Not only do I get to kill Maya, I also get to kill other Chris. So that's a great day. That dude also
Yeah.
deserves it. Fucking bum.
Fucking know why.
But anyway, if people have questions about stuff, I would be happy to answer stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to think of some right now. The big one was just like, whatever happened with the green egg? Like, what was that supposed to be?
The rebirth of the dragons is happening both in Sunday and Monday because of actions between the two. And just as Monday hatched the first dragon egg and found another, you would have found another one. And eventually the idea was, once you guys found the draconic rulers in the one part of Metropolis, they were going to fight you for the egg to try to raise a new era of dragons, and you guys would have had the say of, hey, are these dragons that come are going to be good, or are they going to follow in the path of the draconic rulers?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And now,
Because, like, dragons aren't evil by nature. Something corrupted them down the line.
Yeah.
No.
So we could have had a cute dragon friendo.
Honestly, could have had a full-size dragon NPC companion for certain points, yeah.
That would have been so funny. I love
It
that.
would have been very funny.
Yeah.
Was there more to the, like, from where we got the emerald egg? Was there supposed to be more in there that we were supposed to get, or no?
Not yet.
Because we
No.
ran out. Okay.
I'm not big on, oh yeah, you guys missed this. No, it's what you see is what you guys got. I don't,
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, I don't try to punish y'all on that.
Yeah.
What's the whole story behind Casimir with a C?
That's just his name. I think that's, Dylan out of character thinks it's funny. He's just a cowboy. He is a bounty
Hunting
hunter.
down robot sheep.
He hunts down the Frankies. Frankie's whole thing in universe was an experiment made by somebody who stole god shards, basically. So he was trying to get them back.
The Frankie.
Yeah. Robert remembers. Casimir with the C is a good guy, but he's also that sort of like very abrasive, well, I'm a cowboy, I do what I do. He was supposed to be a big NPC for Caden stuff.
Gotcha.
Which is why I think it's funny that his name is similar. It's just Casimir with a C. Because it's just a little play on that. Just like Caden
So
stuff was
what
super
was-
heavy Fae related, but because she didn't continue,
Right.
couldn't go through with that all.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, your question.
Yeah, so what was the whole I mean, I know you kind of gave the basis of what it was with Jimmy, but so was anything actually implanted into him with Estime, or
Originally, I was toying with a Casimir and Harlow are twinners of each other that I did away with.
oh,
Where it was because it was going to be a big thing where it's the twin princes, right? But because of the way stuff unfolded, I decided against it.
so is that also where the chalk in his blood was going?
Yes. That's why. So it was going. the memories you had of causing rampant destruction were just Estime's memories, and you were channeling stuff from Harlow because you guys were twinners. But it's a whole case of twinners aren't supposed to be in the same space because stuff like this happens. Memories cloud and whatnot. So it's a fun little thing. It's one of those things that do to tie the party together, you know, like how everybody's stuff is linked. It's just another little thing like that. It wasn't a major plot point, but it was enough of something.
Also,
the idea of go ahead.
Go ahead. Mayo has not asked the question yet. Go ahead.
Okay. I was curious. A while ago, back in Erebor, I never got the chance to ask Elzavi because I completely forgot, I'll be honest.
Yes.
A lot of time. What deal did she make with Estime?
I don't remember. Be real.
Yeah.
I
fair.
think it's less so she made a deal and more pretended to. And even if she did, he wouldn't hold to a deal with her because he wouldn't respect her.
Yeah, that makes sense.
What was up with the whole ritual thing in Lahari's old house? Like, was Lahari actually there, or like
yes, but it would be something.
Parents there?
Yes to both. It'd be something you wouldn't really have memory of because it was happened when you were young. Your adoptive parents maybe got tied up with stuff. I didn't get too into detail with it, but the idea is they were tied up into and forced into basically interacting with the cult that sacrificed Veva. It's another thing that ties people together. And it's you were young enough that you wouldn't know what the hell you're doing. You're like ferrying towels and all these weird hooded people are around chanting. Type of deal.
I'm just saying.
Poor Veva. She died.
So bad. So sad.
It was a fun idea, I think. The Veva's been dead this whole time.
Oh, it was a good idea. I liked it.
I wasn't expecting that.
It was a good one. It was a good one. So the whole thing with Nialis was he was supposed to be the, like, fusing of different magics as one. And he couldn't live, as mean as that sounds. Originally it was going to be he's sacrificing himself for Veva. When you were like, hey, we should kill Veva off, I was like, okay, no problem.
And that was how... Okay.
He died to give the Nightborn the power to cloak the world in darkness.
Yeah.
But Nialis is also the prototype spell flame bearer. That's why.
Yeah.
Which is fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, Tony, Chris, I posted in chat. Chris said he'd give you $20 if you killed Cyric right there. Too bad you didn't have a weapon.
Minus 20.
That's crazy.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of Cyric, what would happen if I ate the black apple?
You would be bound to Cyric.
Oh, that's great.
Much like
Would
Silvano.
it help me at all?
Yeah, of course. Cyric's the best. What do you mean?
Okay. It's funny, if I ate an apple, it just did nothing.
Well, honestly, it'd probably do nothing, correct? But, you know. It's okay. Cyric's a goat.
Yeah. Too bad he didn't get it.
Yeah, it's okay.
It is
I can't wait to see how wait to see how I tie Haru to Cyric Thursday.
Oh. I don't think she would go with that. She doesn't really care like the gods, honestly.
Yeah, I know. But it's okay, we'll figure it out.
What about Vanitas?
Yeah.
What about you're not a god, shut up.
You're not a god yet, buddy.
Not yet.
Yeah, and you know what? When you become a god, she'll hate you too.
Oh!
Beast.
That's not surprising, honestly.
Beast for Vanitas.
What is even, or is your portfolio gonna be, like, you're gonna be a god of healing? Doesn't it exist?
There is a god of healing, but we'll see if she continues. I mean, there's gonna be the god of light soon, because Durnax is donezo.
Oh, did you decide?
No, not yet. I have to decide.
What about the Durnax?
Remember in the one-shot, Durnax and Seraphina are imprisoned?
Yeah.
I thought you said you weren't sure if that was going to stay canon or not.
No, I'm not sure the fate of it.
Wait, are we really losing Mux with Durnax gone?
This fucking guy.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So that
You
means
just need to-
technically it's still canon that that one of my characters has been horribly mutilated.
Yeah.
So
Lovely.
everything at the end of this is gonna end up being canonical to the history of
Yeah.
your. I gotcha.
Yeah. This is the future of Arvlon. Something happens after the Archfall is slain that I can't have is going to be in detail from Monday, and Robert and Maya are here, so they don't need to know until they go fight it.
No!
But
Wait, can
something
I
happens
ask?
to the orders. Yeah.
Can I ask her in DM? I can just know about it in DM.
Maybe. But
Oh,
something
that
happens
could be
to the
fun.
orders, and they go dark.
I see.
But it's also partly because I'm not going to use the orders with new games for a bit. I've done it 3 games now back to back. I did in the Western Marches, I did it in Sunday, and I did it in Monday.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
It's a lot.
Yeah.
let the concept rest for a little bit. It'll return eventually. I like it. It's just right now we have the mythic stuff, so that's gonna be my new hyperfixation for Pathfinder mechanics.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna make my own mythic callings and destinies.
Hell yeah.
Mm.
So,
That sounds fun.
Yeah,
the,
they're it's not easy, but I have ideas already. I just gotta see how stuff works with Foundry.
mhm.
Right.
So then, with the ending of Lahari, does that just mean she ended up joining the heroes in the end, or no? Like, just trying to get clarification.
It's open air enough. So
Mhm.
Lahari's whole thing was in seeking power, you're unable to find it, right? But eventually, by
Yeah.
rejecting power when offered to you, clear and simple, that's the secret to unlocking your Heart Vein Attenuator. Much like the other heroes, which allowed you to spark the light for the Truth Seekers and open the 9th door of the Orders.
Mm-hmm.
Does anything come of that? That's up to you. It's whatever happens. But it leaves Lahari an open-ended path.
Mhm.
Gotcha. Oh, wait, 1 second. I'm gonna go.
You're good.
Does Nawai still have Liliana?
Probably not.
Oh, damn.
No, I doesn't have his trident either, though. That's the thing.
Oh, poor
No.
girl. Where'd she end up? No way.
That's a good question.
She's just the next star metal weapon.
29! Oh my
Oh
god!
man.
It's fine, I don't mind. I will say Liliana's fate. Probably Nawai would leave. Nawai would probably have had the opportunity to leave the blade in Elavanis for a new hero to find and claim, and she would serve as a bond for someone down the line, which I think is a good fate for her. I think that's something that Liliana would
yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's probably the best of fate for her.
Yeah. She was a hero in life. She could serve as a hero beyond, much like the other bonds. That's their whole thing.
Yeah.
Like theoretically, all of y'all could be bonds 20 years down the line, D&D wise.
Yeah.
Or whatever
Well,
the next major age happens, so on and so
Yeah.
forth.
And so
Also-
what happens to Kaz?
Also, I just kind of realized something.
Yes.
Veva saw all my other characters in game, right? Does
Yeah.
that mean she saw Liliana?
Oh, yeah.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah.
Speaking of other characters, does that mean is V in Iori with the rune? I mean, I guess it makes
Oh, yeah.
sense.
That's the whole thing. She heard the call of the Spellflame. Nawai had
definitely.
to free her to let her out. And when she did, she's probably going to be an NPC. I don't think you'll be able to play her for the foreseeable future.
Oh no, that's fine. Look, she's kind of cursed player wise.
Yeah.
Hopefully she's not
Yeah.
cursed NPC wise.
But she has her role probably serving as advisor to Vanir Dumain
Mm-hmm.
and the Spellflame stuff. Because
Yeah.
she's also kind of like patient zero, like Nialis is.
Yeah, being a magic and stuff.
Which is fun.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting character. Interesting arc for her. Which
Yeah.
it's probably a good thing Iori's gone, because I was talking to Chris about that. I was like, yeah, I mean, they did kind of just human sacrifice up the wazoo.
Oh yeah, I mean that's one of the things. Like her, while the Inquisition is bad, shouldn't feel bad.
They're
about
both bad.
leaking them.
Yeah, that's why. So it's like,
The mages of yore were horrible people.
Oh yeah, I know. I that just reminded me of a small question I had
Yes.
for a bit. Valis's reason for protecting her was because of Iori? Like, what was up with that?
So in Iori, they sacrifice the firstborn children of every family to power the barriers. Like, they use them basically as batteries, draining you of life and magic. There's no exceptions. No matter who you are, the firstborn child is taken.
Mm-hmm.
So, especially as the Archmage's daughter, you would be taken. There's no way around it if they knew you existed. It's by hiding you away, because otherwise it's the city. I mean, Iori's whole thing is they're so seeded with corruption that even from the top, there's nothing you could do. They're just so
Gotcha.
broken and misshapen of a city. And now
But
Valis is
even-
missing, but not dead. Her fate, we'll find out. It's not terrible, though. Especially compared to
Gotcha.
some people. Definitely compared to some people. Yeah. No, I understand you have a billion questions. Would you like to start asking them?
Get them in, buddy.
Go on, buddy.
Sure. A lot of them are like, I was telling them earlier, a lot of them are like side stuff that we started
Fine,
and it's
yeah.
like never finished.
That's valid.
The first one I had was, did the Eldritch Horror guarding SMA's mansion ever get his baby souls?
No.
That's fair.
No, not at all.
That's very unfortunate for him. Why did that security guard have no eye write his name in the book before entering Astori's mansion? I think that's his name.
For the most part, its
What?
names have power.
Uh-huh.
And they believe that by writing them down, they gain control of you. It's more superstition than
see.
anything else, though.
Got you.
Yeah, true naming doesn't exist.
Was it this isn't a question yet. Was it 19 seals that Lahari, like, I remember there was a whole thing with like 19 seals and they're like, don't open a 19th seal or something like that.
19 seals, it's a big Tharizdun motif.
Yeah.
Number 19, Tharizdun is a big thing. In the past, other Chris had a book with 19 locks on it that was linked to Tharizdun, so on and so forth.
Did anything ever happen to those seals then? Because I don't think we opened them, but did anybody else do it
No.
or were they destroyed?
They are not destroyed, but they're also not something really can be destroyed. They
Gotcha.
can be guarded and protected, but not destroyed. It was one of those things. So, like, Tharizdun is dead. That's a canon in the world. While the heroes of old tried to convince the heroes of legend, aka Lan Silveris, Satnos, Lucifer, Adamorn, to seal Tharizdun as they did, they said, no, fuck that. We're killing this thing so it doesn't happen again.
Which is kind of fair.
Which is, I mean, it's
Yeah.
a smart thing. There are
Yeah.
vestments of Tharizdun's power still in the world. Like, each kineticist has a tiny little piece of Tharizdun. That's like 0.01%. And unless you cultivate and feed into it, Tharizdun does not come back.
So what would have happened? Hari just become like a big bad if she had decided to cultivate, or not necessarily a big bad, or
more
just a
so,
bad person?
the more you feed into it, the more Tharizdun would never be able to come back. But a new Tharizdun could be born, so to speak.
Gotcha.
Tharizdun as an entity can't come back. That's his whole thing. It's dead. But there is something sealed away in Tharizdun's prison, however, that the seed is power enough to open it. That's why Fia on Monday with the power of calamity is able to free Tharizdun. But not Tharizdun within the cage.
It's just whatever's in there with his body, I guess.
With what its remains would be. I don't know if it'd have a body, but whatever remains are of it, there's something else in there. Excuse me. Which is fine.
I had another one. Why did I age 11 years over my adventures?
I can't answer that.
That's fair.
I
That's
will
fair.
say, no, you don't age anymore.
Got you.
Mm.
The only other person that has suffers from this is Lancel. Why? I don't know. But I think it's funny that you're following in very similar footsteps.
Mm-hmm. How old is Nawai now?
I started at 22, and then I aged 11 years. I was 33, and then I don't know if I could
Another
stop
2
right there.
years. Was it another 2 years on top of that after?
It's 10 years in Metropolis. And then
So
another year on top of that.
43.
He'd be 44 in
Damn, he's
wow.
fucking old as shit.
Wow,
Yeah.
you're an oldie, brother.
Yeah. Damn.
Old man.
Call being a literal hero of old. Goddamn, brother.
Oh my
No
god.
respect. No respect at all.
I'm gonna write that down. 44. God damn. My next question was about my wife. Hold on.
Which one?
Yeah, the angel one. I said my wife, my Shayla. Were we actually married and I don't remember, or is there like a dupe Nawai running around?
Again, boils down to the concept of twinners.
Uh-huh.
Nawai does have a twinner. Where they are, it was going to come up eventually if you went certain routes.
Mm-hmm.
Where the twinner Nawai is kind of a sleazeball, for lack of a better term.
Mm-hmm.
And, well, basically lives in the celestial realm. With the angels and all that.
Mm.
Was that connected to the grave with my name on it then? When we were
Mhm.
in the place where we got Harlow's weapon?
Yep.
Got you.
1 second, Jacob's questions. Jacob, the 3 iron doors are stuff that I would address when you looked into them. It would be memories and different things, spatterings from Estime mixing with your own. The Grey Beast Mist. The first king, because of his age and everything else going on, long ago was infected by the Grey Beast Plague. It's what eventually killed him when you found him in the Space Between Spaces. By taking in his power, you kind of leak that stuff out. Before that, I think it's just a fun concept.
Okay.
Estime is also intrinsically linked to it because he's the type to, like, he probably wouldn't make the Grey Beast, but he's definitely worshipping them. And be like, damn, I wish I made these things.
Gotta congratulate whoever made these guys.
Oh, 100%. Dude's definitely like, damn, these things are amazing. I need more of these.
What was the key for? The key with light breaking out of it? I know this was for the Byzantine Church, but what would have it been able to do?
Spoiler, can't say.
Makes sense.
It is something to do with the Prince of the Nightborn in a
see.
major way, so I don't want to spoil it.
No, that's fair.
But the church, everything behind the church was interesting. I was waiting for y'all to go to it eventually, but the idea that Veva went there and died is fun.
Yeah.
It was
Got you.
fun.
What did happen to the clone of Nawai that Skeletrax made?
It's just a spell. It would probably disappear.
I think it ended, yeah.
Yeah, he's bluffing with this spell. Skeletrax is a storm giant. They're pretty magically inclined. So I think he could cast a spell and bluff and act like, oh yeah, this is now permanent.
I mean, with you, Dylan, I never know.
You just not nonsense.
Did I ever go to Fira's birthday party?
You miss it?
Oh, you were in Metropolis. Oh, she's pissed.
Oh,
Oh.
damn. Rest in peace.
Because we were in the torture realm for how long?
She's pissed.
Yeah,
Well-
you're fucked,
In
buddy.
peace.
Well,
I want
you're
them to
you're
meet
gonna
in a
be
future
alive.
campaign and her
On the
slap
bright
him.
side, she's omnipresent in all of the games at this point. So
Mhm.
you'll be seeing her again.
I'll go to the next one.
There you go. Bring a nice birthday gift to apologize.
Yeah. I'm wondering how many birthday parties he's missed at this point.
Oh,
like,
God. The timeline gets a little convoluted. I think it's 15 years total since Sunday started.
oh,
So somewhere between like 12 to maybe 10 birthdays.
oh, you fucked up, bro. You
Yeah, you're
fucked up.
fucked.
Amen. Amen. It was not my fault. Okay, I was doing some stuff. I was running about.
To be
Right,
fair,
right.
she's
You
been
gotta
a
bring
little.
her the heart of a celestial to make up for it.
To be fair, she's been a little busy as well with stuff going on top of the mountain.
Mhm.
Mhm. What happened to my
Because the
scythe
Inquisitor
friend?
stole her boat.
Yeah, said.
Like perpetually, like eventually for her.
Yeah, like what's going on with her? Like,
You
Yeah.
rescued her.
mm-hmm. Is she doing well?
She'd probably have joined a Storm of Shadows. Honestly,
Oh,
slaying
sick.
monsters is all she knows.
Yeah.
I like to imagine that she built better bonds with her strange demon weapon eventually, but I don't know. They probably don't like each other still.
That makes sense.
What
So,
happened to a weird tiefling that Veva met in the Library of the Stars?
Ooh.
The one that liked tea.
Oh yeah, the one that talked. The one you're talking about. The one
Who
that
was
was talking.
barefoot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know. Probably died.
That was the one who's.
Remember, she was under everything. She was in the lower levels, so she
Yeah.
wouldn't have been affected by all the bombs.
No, I know. She was a throwaway NPC for that arc. Nothing important.
Mhm. She was just tied to the whole Veva slowly disappearing thing.
Mm. Choo-choo. What did the princess from the Lost Age want to talk about when she gave me her business card?
It's blessed stuff, so kind of spoilers.
Gotcha.
For easiest way to put it, as war approaches, the enemy uses many angles. They were trying to recruit you, essentially. Won't say more
I
than that,
see.
because spoiler.
Got you. What would have happened if I looked into the mirror that I got from Tuso in Marinwood?
I don't remember.
Got you. No problem. Also from Marinwood, what would Noah ever like figured out what door the key he got from the lake unlocks?
100%. It was just loot, though. Nothing major.
Got you.
Mm-hmm.
One of those
What?
things like eventual treasure, you know.
Yeah. What was the door, the first door that ever opened, supposed to unlock for Veva and Alzevi? Because we never did actually get to that.
It's nothing good, if you want an actual
Mm,
answer.
but it
It's
just
me tongue-in-cheek messing with you, Maya.
uh,
Without spoiling super much. I'm trying to think how to word it.
Trying to
I'm
think.
trying to think.
no, that's fair.
Beyond the first door lies the true evil of the world. Much like the great evil, it is more concept than physical thing, and much like how I keep messing with Garros, that he has to open the doors of Ivory.
Mm-hmm.
Veva and Alzevi are privy to the first door. It's not something you ever want to open, but it is something you could have opened, and only you could have.
Ah, I see.
It's one of those. Eventually, down the line, there's a new major threat. There always has to be something.
Mhm.
And this is something that only comes about when the world is truly gone. So as we know, as the wheel turns, the cycle repeats. Things continue, right?
Mhm.
There are attempts to break the cycle, like killing Tharizdun was an attempt to break the cycle. It almost worked, but not fully. So the cycle continues. Eventually the wheel must stop, or the world will end. One of the two.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never expected you to open the door.
Yeah, makes sense.
You could have, though. It would have been fun.
Yeah.
For me. Davis turned to end the world.
Yeah. It is my turn.
But yes, more questions, Nawai?
Oh yeah. What was up with Nialis' headcanon of Nawai?
I just think it's funny.
Got you.
It's nothing major. I just thought it was hilarious.
Mm-hmm. It is pretty funny. I was there like, oh my gosh, is there like a Nawai out there?
Sometimes you just get the funny little moments. That's all it is. I like to tie in comedy to seriousness.
Got you. My
I'll
girlfriend from
never
my
know that it
backstory.
was Kaz that did most of that.
What's up, Tony? I'm sorry.
I was just asking, my girlfriend from my backstory. Is she still stuck in the prison?
She's in the
with...
Shadow Man's prison. That's the most major of spoilers, and I can't say anything about it at all.
Got you.
In theory, eventually, maybe, hopefully, Nawai finds the allies he needs to storm the prison.
Mm-hmm.
However, that's the kind of shit that even, like, well, never mind. I'll stop. I'm going to spoil shit. I'm going to spoil shit. I'm going to spoil shit. Perhaps beyond the first door lies the Shadow Man's prison. Who knows? Many secrets. I know all the secrets.
Inside.
But, yeah, no.
Mm.
Shadow Man bad. We don't like him.
Was that the Shadow Man's prison when my first session ever joining?
Yeah.
Was that the Shadow?
Yeah.
Okay.
That was it. That's why everybody had beef with him.
Some beef is never ending. So I like when characters have a love interest because it makes for such funny moments. This is the second love interest the Shadow Man has stolen. And then there's also the great evil erasing Lancel's wife. That was a great moment. I'd do that again.
Oh wow!
I'd do that again in a heartbeat. Motherfucker bit me. Deserves that and worse. But yeah, it's fun. I don't do certain things are a no-go, but adds incentive. And the whole Osfell, Lady Dawn stuff obviously is all off limits.
Yeah.
But I will say the Icon stuff is wrapped up, so if anything relates to that, if you want to know like what she was doing with Icon or whatever, that's fine.
Okay. Because I did have a question about that. I also had a question about what happened with Turnmore and Osfell. Because I remember, like, in my backstory, the whole thing with them was Turnmore was polluting Osfell. At least the Osfell that Nawai knew.
Not only were they doing that, they were taking your people to turn into saints for the Inquisition.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really bad. Really bad.
What happened over time then?
What?
I was just asking, like, what happened between the two over time, I guess.
So currently, Turnmore is up in the air because Monday is dealing with them in the Inquisition, and I don't know how they plan to end it. So Turnmore is in limbo right now. The only canonical event is they attacked Iori and failed, and they keep losing Saints because Monday keeps fucking slaughtering them in 2 fucking rounds. God damn.
Yeah, we killed the bomb now. We're good at this.
They dealt 550 damage in 2 rounds.
Dude, I shut down that Saint so badly.
God.
It was so sick.
It was awful. Awful. It's all Vanitas' fault. If Vanitas was there, The Saint would have won. That's all I'm saying.
What do you mean?
Oh, what the fuck? No, Vanitas could help them, dude.
Vanitas would have won the fight for the Saint. I love you, Rob.
Is there a
I'm
Saints on
sorry.
Monday?
What's up?
Chris just messaged me babe.
Yeah. What's up? What's up, Jake? I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just asking. There was a Saint in Monday.
There are a multitude of saints. They killed
Okay.
2 in the last 2 weeks. They killed the Saint of the Seas and the Saint of the Cosmos.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're going through.
With Sunday's fight, your NPCs kind of just killed each other.
Yeah. That's how it goes sometimes.
Yeah.
Failed against your own NPCs.
Sometimes that's how it goes. What can I say? What can
Yeah.
I say?
Twice.
That's how it goes sometimes. That's how it
I really want to make an Inquisitor character. I really do.
I mean,
Well, you're gonna have to make them soon because I think we're wiping them off the map. Man. I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure those guys aren't gonna exist after Monday.
very true, very true. There, we got a giant Vanitas in the corner for you, Jake. There you go, buddy. But yeah, I Turrenmore's kind of in limbo until they decide what's going on. But the whole idea was, especially at the time, because you rolled Nawai when Michaela rerolled to Ami for the time being, and Ami's whole thing was her love interest was like one of the main people of Turrenmore, so I thought it'd be extra funny if, whenever she found him again, he'd be like, "Oh damn, Nawai, I'm so sorry. I've been taking your people," because you would have seen him and be like, "Oh shit, this is the dude that was overseeing what was going on in Osfell. This dude has been like kidnapping and enslaving your people and melting their bodies down to make these fucking monsters that are the Saints."
I see.
Which
It would've been
real
a cool
bad
time.
news. Real bad news, the Saints. But I mean, there was 15 of them. We're at like 9 now.
Yeah, we're knocking them done fast.
Okay. I think I had like 3 or 4 more questions,
Mhm.
maybe, possibly.
You just didn't write them down yet?
No, I wrote them down, but they might go into more questions.
Ah.
When we were in Kalinra and the blind people looked at Nawai and then called him the Prince of Chalk, were they mistaking him for Harlow or was that something else?
Repeat
Or am I
that question. I
misremembering?
was typing. Repeat that question. I'm so sorry.
You're good. When we were in Kalinra,
Mhm.
and I believe it was Kalinra, when we came back and like it was, I had the Graby's disease, and essentially the bar guy was like, "Get out of here," because he saw my arm.
Yes.
And I was walking around, and the blind people saw Nawai on the street, and they were like, "Oh, Prince of Chalk," and they're like kind of walking up to him and like touching him and stuff. Were they mistaking him for Harlow, or was that something else?
That was also going to play into the Twin Princes concept. They were blind and they don't know. Nawai has a similar energy to many others. In seeing you, they thought they were seeing Harlow. They weren't, but they saw that.
Got you. My next question was, did anything come from the research that I asked Lancel's wife to do on the Thirstune, like iconography on the letter that I got?
From the research you got, because this was on the letter from Lady Dawn, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll give you a little bit to not be a spoiler, because Lancel is happy that you saved his wife. You get a little bit. Lady Dawn has tapped into allies that once served alongside Tharisjin.
Mhm.
Ancient allies that may serve again. Corruption runs deep in the world, especially now as the hunt flows. I won't say more than that, but I would say Ceres will warn you upon your return to be careful who you trust, especially in the court of the Emerald Queen. And I will say, no lie, once you reach the capital city, I forgot its name already. I just made it up yesterday, so I apologize. I'll remember it eventually. Once you heard those first rumors that the Emerald Queen has taken to strange bathing chambers, large pools of water, it's almost like a chill running down your spine. And I'll let you think what might be coming of that.
Gotcha. Why did Lady Dawn team up with Icon and the people there?
Give me 1 second.
No problem.
What was your question now?
I asked why Lady Dawn teamed up with the people at Icon, essentially.
Because once you joined with the party, the head of Icon reached out to the good Lady Dawn and saying, "It seems our little birds of prey are flocking together, two birds with one stone. I help you, you help me." She, of course, agreed. Because she really wants that fucking tablet, mind you. Like, that will never change. The head of Icon was probably like, "Yo, I'll give you the tablet. You just gotta help me kill Nawai and Harlow." And they're like, "Yeah, bet. Sounds good." Yeah, bet. No problem. Easy peasy.
Okay. Oh, there was one other question. Let me look for it, because I think I skipped over it to come back to it.
You're good.
Well, I was finding that. I'm kind of curious. Because Veva's whole thing, I know, was Veva's whole thing that it kind of set up was the whole, like, her slowly disappearing and Alzevi kind of consuming her and taking over the body.
Correct.
What would have been the, like, kind of end game of that at the end of the story? Like, would it kind of just have heavily decided on what we've done, or did you kind of have, like, a general idea of, like, what, like, could have happened there?
Of Veva's final fate.
Yeah.
I think towards the end, Alzevi would realize that it wouldn't work out. And if unable to find a way to split the two of you into two separate bodies, she would have willingly passed on and left it to you after convincing you to accept that you're meant to be alive. I think that's a whole lot of Alzevi's arc, is she starts off super selfish, but towards the end realizes that Veva's the selfish one, and Veva needs to learn to not be.
Yeah. I do have another question.
Of
what
course.
about Phelan?
Shut... What about Phelan? You're right, we need to ask more questions about him. Technically, y'all almost met Phelan when you guys were in the Mount of Madness and you met the Shadowsworn of Twilight, because she was calling Phelan to come investigate, because Zeron was there, and she is half Shadowsworn.
That would have been sick.
It would not have been. Phelan would show up and go, "Oh, and then he would have started killing people. Because Git would appear, and Git has the Beast Blade, and the Beast Blade would slaughter Vanitas.
Is Git still like infected with the rage virus?
Oh yeah, 100%. Git is patient zero of the rage virus. That's how Chris found out about it.
What we don't know is Git's actually completely immune to it.
Yeah, no, he chooses to suffer. It's an active choice. Every time he gets rid of it, he goes, I need the rage virus back. He starts jonesing for it. What about Phelan? This motherfucker. What about Phelan, indeed?
What about Phelan?
I did find my last question.
Bet?
It was about Ephora. That's why I skipped over it, because I was doing the Y stuff first.
Totally fine, totally fine.
I wanted to know if she made any progress with her research.
I think her research would have taken her to the frontier following in Estime's footsteps.
Got you.
I think she would have found the City of Portals and been amazed. I think she would currently have set up shop, visiting many worlds and uncovering more of what it means to have a soul.
Mm-hmm.
At the same time, she would be at every single of Fira's birthday parties. Unlike someone.
Hey, she's a fangirl. I tried to be
Someone
there.
has to be. Someone has to be.
Oh, how did
Done. Oh, go on.
how did the old god know Veba?
Which old god?
The old god we met in the house that beyond like didn't have like time falling and stuff. How did she?
Oh,
know Veba?
good one. Good question. Good question. Good question. Oh, no. What can I give that doesn't give away things? What can I say that doesn't give away things? Thinking. She is kind of the overseer of Metropolis and the world below, and how they're one and the same.
Oh.
I don't know particularly why she kept an interest in Veva, but for some reason she did.
Mm.
She was very much so not a good guy, though.
Mm.
But that's
Yeah,
fine.
I could kind of tell when she started to threaten the party.
Oh yeah, no. The whole thing is that she's masquerading as good and can only withhold it so long before the evil just starts to ooze out. To be fair, 90% of the old gods would be evil in the current day and age.
Yeah.
That's why new gods must step up.
Oh, they're better.
Just a question then, about the Veromores.
Yes.
So, canonically in your world, are vampires sterile so that like they can give birth? Is that why the Veromores are vampires? Like majority of the ones in Metropolis, at least.
Vampirism is a
Or-
disease in the world. It would not stop someone from giving birth. But there's also a difference
Gotcha.
between pureblood vampires and those not pureblood. So the Veromores are purebloods. So they would be able to give birth and live life. They are not infected by the disease. Diseased vampires, it probably would be more difficult to give birth, but not impossible.
Gotcha.
It's also one of those
So-
things I try not to think too hard about, logistically. But for, yeah.
Because I was like, am I part vampire? Oh fuck.
But for the most part, vampires are only undead because mechanically they have to be. Purebloods would not be considered undead.
Gotcha. So
But
then
purebloods are also rare in the world.
I see. So canonically, is Lahari then a vampire then?
Valis is not a vampire, but your father is. So it probably would have been a latent blood thing that down the line, I think. So Lahari never really got knocked unconscious or killed. I think if you did, it would have sparked something, and you probably would have become like a Dampier upon dying. Probably.
That's interesting to think about.
It would have been interesting, yeah. I think it could have been fun.
You're like, I should have killed you sooner.
No. It causes negative healing, so it's not something I would like do often because it makes stuff a little more difficult for the party.
Yeah, makes sense.
But I mean, if it came to it, just like how if people die, I often give them ways to come back. That probably would have been the case because of your lineage. Not every Veromore is a vampire, but it does run very common in the family.
Oh, so not every child born in the Veromore family gets the vampiric. No. Gotcha.
I mean, I imagine
it just remains dormant when they're born.
Yes, and they could activate it or not if they see fit. Adventurers have the benefits of your adventurers. You could get away with things that regular people would not.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very open in that sense.
I see.
Excuse me.
So, down the line, Lahari could just choose to be a vampire?
Yeah, pretty much.
Ah, okay.
It would cement her in a non-aging way, which would be interesting. Again, this campaign, it could have ran for another 100 sessions. Like, there's a lot of stuff there to it. Every character had a lot of stuff to it. It's shitty the way it ends, but I tried to make the most of it for epilogues. I tried to go all out and make sure people, get a good feel for what happens.
That makes sense.
Characters come and go, campaigns come and go, so on and so forth.
So then...
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh no, it's just a few questions just on... couple on misplaced items now, I guess, technically, and one on something that's attached to something that it's not supposed to be. So, first the items. So when Nwai got transported at near his end, he didn't have any of the stuff he was carrying on him.
Nope.
What happened to the dragon amulet that we stuck Bornthrax's soul in?
Stranded in the prison where Satnos' god shard was. So it's probably safe. Maybe somebody will find it. Even if he gets out of it, he's in prison.
Then, so Veva's body disintegrated. What happened to any magic items she was holding?
It's less so disintegrate, more like I hate doing it because I hate Marvel slop. But how in Avengers they turn to ash when Thanos snaps. It's kind of like that. All of her stuff would have turned to that as well.
So that includes the weird sword that had a soul in it.
Mm-hmm.
The bone one.
Yep, anything that she had. The only things she threw, the things that she thought to throw. That's why I said, Veva, what are you doing as you start to crumble?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that thing. I'll be honest.
I understand. It happens.
I thought of my character and the other character I cared about.
Oh no, it's good. I was just curious because I know that was in the bag of holding. And so, what happens with Halwyn and the Shattersworn of Mind?
Halwyn dies. Maintaining the Shattersworn of Mind eventually proves to be too much. The Shattersworn of Mind would then take on a new host, and Halwyn would be no more.
Gotcha.
Makes sense.
Yeah, it's one of those things, your body can only take so much.
But basically, it's a primal force trying to convey that in a normal mortal vessel is going to overload it.
War comes for the Shattersworn just as it does for the mortals. Brother will turn on brother in a war that will never end. And only when one stands will the world know true peace.
It'll be Jack.
Well, no, the war is Phelan versus Levin, but that also. Jack is like a cockroach. He's never going to die. Are you kidding me?
He's like a Twinkie.
It'll live.
A little fucking monster. A little fucking midget monster.
He'll awaken everything.
I gave him the wrong power. I
You gave
stand
him the
by
best
this.
power.
I stand by this. I gave him the wrong power.
What power did you give him?
He's a fear bringer, so he has the power to awaken things. So he just causes chaos. It's the easiest way to put
He
it.
blended people.
He blends people. He's a psychopath, yeah.
So kind of like
Oh.
Ezex.
No, Ezex is more of a psychopath. See, when I was choosing what orders for people for Monday, Jack was the one I was immediately like, yeah, this just fits him. He's not the strategist type of fear bringer, but he's the creative type that's gonna fucking cause issues.
Yeah.
He's the one that creates new torture methods that shouldn't have been
He's a
invented.
fucking psychopath.
It's to Geneva. It's fine.
He is a. They gave him a nuke for some reason. Like, dude's
Yo,
a
you
monster.
gave him a
What?
nuke.
I didn't give him
You
shit.
gave him the nuke.
Shut up,
You gave him the
bioterrorist, Robert!
What'd I do?
They called you a bioterrorist in game. That's just you.
You did say you would make saints for your king.
If the people,
Yeah,
if the children don't want to be assassins, they're turning them into saints.
It'd be a willing thing. According to the party, I'm brainwashed, so it'd be a willing thing. Brainwashed. It's the same thing.
According to the party, yeah, you are.
Nah, it's all willing. It's fine.
Yeah. That's a word to say for it.
Fine.
Can't wait for that king to be evil. It's really gonna be funny.
You killed my king. I want to hear that from you.
Dude, yeah, and honestly, you know what? If she stayed dead, would have been a net positive for the world.
No.
Yeah, it would.
No, it wouldn't have.
The king coming back in the context that they did is terrible.
That's why I'm trying to kill vampirism.
So,
It's
for
fine.
those who don't know, Maya killed the king of Arvlon.
Accidentally.
Accidentally is crazy.
By trying to heal and not wanting the risky surgery.
Yeah. She got brought back by the progenitor of vampires.
And Maya made a deal with the Grand Progenitor to bring back Robert's PC and the king.
Yeah.
They might be vampires now.
Mhm.
And the problem with being a vampire, the Grand Progenitor being out, is she kind of controls all vampires.
Yeah. I mean, surely she's not a evil person. Nothing bad will happen. She'll do nothing bad.
It's fine. I'm gonna cure vampirism. That's nothing to worry about.
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't think the Grand Progenitor is evil, but she's definitely not a good guy.
Yeah. So good luck with that, man. I bet there's been a lot of people who've tried to cure vampirism, and that shit's kind of stuck around.
Yeah, but that's individual people. I have a whole country to help out.
Do you?
Yes, I do. There are some people I trust.
I think Vanitas can cure vampirism. If anyone
mean-
could. He's large
really?
enough to loom over us all. Don't look at the Twitch chat, Robert. Don't look at the Twitch channel.
What's in the Twitch channel, Dylan?
Don't look at it.
Okay, I'm gonna go to it. Try to tell me no.
Vanitas looms over all of us in his wisdom.
He's my goat, Merlin. Hell yeah.
I don't know Merlin. I only know Vanitas.
There is only Vanitas.
Oh my god.
So much bigger than I expected. It took so long for the image to load.
They keep telling me to make him larger, and I must obey.
Oh my god, this is all
Bigger.
weed.
Gotta cover the screen, you know.
Anyway. Yeah, no. Interesting tidings over the world. Again, it sucks how this game went out. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
there's always games in the future. The world
True.
continues to turn. Arvlon still exists. While Veva is dead, other PCs can always return for one-shots and things like that down the line. Some people can cameo and things. And the Y's gonna go fight the Atropol with Monday when you guys get there. Oh, you're probably gonna have to level up to 13 also, Nawai, for that fight.
If we
No
get there.
problem.
Fucking go, Tony.
Unless they TPK tomorrow. It's also... Garros doesn't have a weapon. They might just lose.
Yeah. Also, I've had a thought, and I realized that, like, at a game, like, because Fia doesn't know anything about the whole, plague that's affecting Jack right now.
Yes.
And the first action she's going to be doing is using Unity. And I realized that might just spread the plague to everyone else.
Yes!
Which is going to be really funny.
Well, here's the only thing I don't know about
God.
the Grey Curse is it an actual like virus? That's what I don't remember.
Yes, it is.
So
Yeah.
theoretically, it can be targeted.
Yeah, but I know the whole thing is like it literally like affects the soul itself.
Oh, never
Like
mind.
at the stage, I don't know if it's at the stage where it affects the soul. I think when it affects the soul, it's like irreversible.
I mean,
Correct.
still, I could decay a soul, right?
You can.
That's
You
fine.
gotta
Decay and
remember,
restore it.
Jack's soul is also bound to the Shadowsworn of Horror.
Yeah.
So it's... Oh my god, a Shadowsworn turning into a great... Yes! Wait! Big brain. Oh my god.
Yeah.
It would be awful for the world. How could you people do this?
It would be,
fine.
it'd be
It'd be
very
fine.
funny if the first thing happens, I use Unity and everyone turns into a Gravius.
That would be so funny. It would be well deserved. Anyway, are there any more questions we have left to ask, folks?
None from me.
Nothing here.
Does that mean if they lose on Monday, is the postcard retcon then?
Nah, that's fine. No eyes waiting for something that never comes.
Gotcha. That's it.
It would be funny as fuck. No, I
Be
think
like, we won.
they might be fine.
Oh, we're probably most likely fine. We're strong as shit.
You got this.
They gotta stat out that boss tomorrow. I think I might just give him 10,000 HP. You never know.
Don't worry. Don't worry. Chris will just crit.
Chris doesn't have a weapon. He's not doing shit.
I have an
Just
extra knife,
this.
Dylan. He could have my extra knife.
Yeah, I don't think he'd use a knife, buddy.
He has his other axe.
An axe in a dream.
I don't know. I think you guys just lose.
Lose for shits and giggles.
It'll be interesting. We'll see what happens with that. But otherwise, this is where we're going to call our epilogue. I will be uploading this to YouTube probably sometime this week. I'm going to go set that up on my YouTube channel so that we can have access to stuff. Because Twitch does not like to keep VODs, which kind of sucks. But what are you going to do?
No
Yeah.
problem.
But
Okay.
otherwise, have a wonderful night, everybody. And that is where Shadows Lie comes to a close. Dun dun dun.